is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Kobe Bryant, I have decided to skip college and take my talent to the NBA.
The Charlotte Hornets select Kobe Bryant from Lower Merion High School in Pennsylvania.
It's a step up from high school.
The Charlotte Hornets have traded Kobe Bryant to the Lakers.
Golden jersey, baby. Here we go, lifetime dreams. You know, it's finally been realized.
The 18-year-old Kobe Bryant, the youngest player to ever appear in a regular season NBA game.
Kobe Bryant will take an 18-year-old rookie. Short, no time remains. Bryant with a tie. Another air ball.
You know what Babe Ruth said, he swings big and he misses big. Same thing with me. I have no fear whatsoever. If I take the last second shot and I miss, so what?
And the other forward for the final time, number 24 on the floor, 6'6". High school, five-time world champion, Kobe Bryant.
This is the Big O Show.
Alrighty, good morning. I don't know if we could call it a good morning. This is going to be, I was telling Bill off the air, this is probably going to be the most difficult show we've ever done because our format is a lot different than regular radio where you harp on the same subject for hours and hours on end, and that's normal radio. We don't do that here. We kind of talk about all kinds of different subjects every single day and kind of give you an overall of what's going on in sports. But today it's one of those days where all of sports and maybe even parts of the world are surrounding Kobe. And yesterday, while we were towards the end of our show, the tragic news broke of Kobe Bryant's helicopter crash, which of course also claimed the life of his daughter Gianna. And listen, this is about 9 people losing their lives, okay? And I know that Kobe and Gianna are the main pieces of it because it affects the general world of sports. And so I understand all of that, but our thoughts and prayers, go to everybody there. Coach John Altobelli, his wife Carrie, and daughter Alyssa also perished in that crash. Christina Mauser also, who was the basketball coach, and then the pilot and 2 other victims who have not been identified yet. And I would imagine that they're waiting for contacting the next of kin to make sure that they know first and foremost before they go public with the names. So first, I want to say thoughts and prayers to all the families involved, because we have to remember there are fathers and mothers and brothers and sisters and uncles and aunts and grandfathers and grandmothers and so many people that are grieving, so many different parts and extensions of all their families and friends that are affected. And then we move on to the basketball world and the fans who are clearly devastated by all of this because he was such an impactful player. And listen, we all have to evolve as people, right? Very few of us are born like Russell Wilson or Tim Tebow or, I don't know, there's only a couple of those cats that probably were perfect from the second they came out of the womb till right now, and they'll be this way till like they die, right? I can guarantee that Russell Wilson and Tim Tebow will just be perfect human beings because, I don't know, man, they have that magic. You know what I mean? There's just very few of us. Most of us are human. Most of us are flawed. And Kobe was flawed, like the rest of us. None of us are perfect. We don't get along with everybody. We don't necessarily, end up in a happy mood every single day. that we will have our run-ins with people. We will have our differences. And Kobe did too, right? And Kobe wasn't perfect, but you watched Kobe evolve. Because remember, whether you're watching The Facts of Life, okay, or you're watching The Cosby Show, or you're watching Kobe Bryant, or you're currently watching, I don't know, let me give him Ja Morant. It's really difficult to be a person that grows up in the spotlight. And you're going through puberty and becoming an adult, like in The Facts of Life or in any other show that you watch these kids grow into adults. And so we're watching them grow through all their stages, which, does that happen to you? Does that happen to me? No. No, we get to grow and make all of our mistakes behind the scenes. Nobody really finds out. It's not easy to grow up in the public eye. And that's what that guy had to do from the get-go. I mean, he was a star right from the get-go. And when Jerry West wants you, okay, and wants you badly, and trades for you, there's a whole different ball game when you put on I'm sorry, okay? Let me apologize early on here. Huge difference when you put on a Hornets jersey and then when you put on a Lakers jersey. Okay? Hornets fans aren't expecting much. If you give them something, they'll be happy. Lakers fans, they're expecting a championship. Okay? That's just a requirement there. That's just the way it is, right? Yankees, you put on that uniform, it's championship or the season sucks. It's just the way it is. Celtics, championship or the season sucks. Patriots are in that mode now, right? Championship or the season sucks. When you're at that level and you've won a bunch of them, that's the only thing that's going to satisfy you. Everything else is unsatisfying, as the commercial would say. And it's not easy to do that. And you live up to that pressure and expectations. And I'm not going to make any excuses for any of the mistakes that he made or I make or anybody else. But all I'm saying is it's not an easy thing to do for anybody. I don't care. Again, I don't care if you're Tootie in what's it called? Facts of Life, or I don't care if you're Ja Morant. It's not easy, man. You're going to grow up and you're going to make mistakes because you're just learning about life. And here's a guy that had his faults, but you watched him grow. And you watched him grow as a father. You watched him grow as a player. You watched him grow as a mentor. You watched him grow as a leader. Because he was very selfish and self-centered for a long time. And then kind of, it's been documented. People have talked about it. He wasn't friends with a lot of people in the league early on. And then you watch the latter half of his career, and he took on a different responsibility. He kind of became more human in a way. And so it's a lot like Tiger Woods, right? We've watched Tiger Woods evolve too and make all kinds of mistakes and have no personality, be a freaking robot, right? And now you watch Tiger, he's been humbled. He's had all kinds of things happen in his life, but he's now become a little bit more personable. He's a little bit more open, and you've watched him grow because we watched Tiger on the Merv Griffin show. Okay? That's not easy, man. It's just not easy to grow up in the spotlight. And that's something and that's why you see the impact, right? Because when people like this die, we got to watch them from their almost embryonic state of fame. And then they take off and they grow. And we go through our emotions of what we like and dislike about that person. Because there are going to be moments, right, where you're not, hey, Tiger, come on, dude, what are you doing? right? And then there are moments where you're like, wow, yesterday I had Taylor Zarzour on, and he's a Golf Channel guy, and he's a big time play-by-play guy at golf. And I before I started the interview, I just wanted to tell him about what Tiger's done, because I've been one of the guys that has made fun of Tiger. I've been one of the guys that has picked on Tiger when he kind of looked like he went into a shell after everything, and he came out of that shell. And look at him now, and he's having success. He's now more of a human being than ever. Not that he wasn't a human being, but you know what I mean, personable, and all of those things. And you've watched him evolve. And so now there are things you admire, because we all have to go through adversity. The question is, how do you respond to that adversity? Do you respond and show, that's not who I am, this is who I am, and you correct it? And that's what seems like guys like Tiger did and Kobe did, and maybe you have, and I have, and others, and things like that. And we've watched family members of ours or friends grow in the same ways, where they were immature, didn't handle things the right way early on, and now they're older and they're handling things in a much better light. And so these kind of situations put all of us in a difficult spot when it comes to maturity. And Kobe was the same way. And I think that's the other connection that we have with him, like I just said, is that we watched him grow, we watched him make mistakes, we watched him then try to overcome those mistakes. And those are the moments that you end up admiring, even over the moments where you didn't think he was very desirable at that time. And watching him pass is one thing, but as a father, hearing about his daughter and the other children that are, now we're learning that we're in that helicopter, that part just breaks your heart. I only have one child, and there is no way any parent ever wants to bury their child. Ever. I mean, that's got to be the worst feeling in the entire world. And I can't imagine what Vanessa's going through, his wife, who has 3 other girls. One is really young. I think it's like 6 months or something. So that child is not necessarily experiencing this. They don't have that child is not in tune with what's going on. But Vanessa now has to balance her feelings. Excuse me. Vanessa has to balance her feelings, right? And the other 2 children who have got to be devastated, who lost their sister and their father. And she's got to also somehow stay strong for these kids in the midst of losing her husband and one of her daughters. I can't imagine what's going on. I can't imagine what's going on in the Altobelli family, right? The Mauser family. I can't imagine now what's going on with any of these families right now. They've got to be devastated. The pilot, I'm sure he has a family. But the adults at least had an opportunity of life. And they had an opportunity to achieve a goal, a dream, and make something of themselves. And they did. But those children who never get that opportunity to create their own lives and their own mark and their own identities, that's the part, I mean, I just read now where Kobe on the 30th of December just filed for Mambacita for Gigi. He filed trademark for her because she was, such a good basketball player, and he was so inspired by her play, and obviously she was going to go play in the WNBA eventually, and he felt she was going to be a great player, and she felt she was going to be a great player because she had the Mamba-like, attitude. and to hear, and to see that connection with those two is pretty cool. That they both had that love for basketball, that she picked up the love that her dad had for basketball. What are you going to say?
Here. This is him, Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, let's hear it. All right. Oh, we'll try to get it in a minute for you. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the program. You got it now? All right, go ahead.
Do you think your daughter might want to play in the WNBA? This kid, man. Wouldn't that be great? Dude, man, I'm telling you. The best thing that happens is when we go out and fans will come up to me and she'll be standing next to me and they'll be like, hey, you got to have a boy. UNV got to have a boy, man. You got somebody carry on the tradition, the legacy. She's like, oh, I got this. You know, boy, for that, I got this. Like, that's right. Yes, you do. You got this.
So there you go. And that's the connection. And obviously he connected with her. And that's the part that when you look at all of this, kind of eats me up inside as a father, that those young ladies are not going to be able to have a full life. And I mean, as a father, that's the worst part of it all, man. And I can't imagine the terror that was going on in that helicopter and how they were all afraid. I would imagine, because it's only human to be afraid at that moment, because you're facing, your mortality, and it's just, man, this is one of those stories that it's affected everybody, and I feel for all of you out there that are Kobe fans, or basketball fans. I know that everybody's hurting pretty much today, and it's just one of those where it's really hard to kind of comprehend, right? Because that's the thing for all of us, that we never want to see somebody check out too early. I lost my dad at 51, and it's one of those things that, like, I'll never recover from. Nobody ever recovers from the loss of a parent, okay? It's something you have to learn to deal with for the rest of your life. But when you lose somebody at such a young age, that you feel like they could have had more life. And my dad was 10 years older than Kobe. And I still feel like, come on, 51? I'm 53, so I've lived 2 more years than my dad already, which is bogus, man. It's crap. My dad should be around right now in his mid-70s, like, hanging out and BSing with me and going to a game or something. But it's just one of those, and that's what his daughters are going to feel. Daughters are going to feel like, wow, I mean, I didn't really, I need my dad here so I can go hang out with him a little bit. See him, hug him, watch a show with him, go out to a game, BS, send him a text. All the little things that we take for granted every single day as parents and as kids. It's one of those situations, man, really, really tough to see what's going on in the Kobe situation. Tuesday, by the way, it'll be the Lakers and the Clippers at the Staples Center. 10 o'clock tip, obviously, Eastern time. That will be a very emotional game. You saw Doc Rivers yesterday. He was addressing the Kobe situation and was extremely emotional.
I just don't have a lot to say. The news is just devastating to everybody who knew him, who known him a long time. And, he means a lot to me, obviously. He was such a great opponent. He had that DNA that very few athletes can ever have.
That, my friends, is what you call serious emotion there by Doc Rivers. Obviously crying. He was just broken up like a lot of people, because you're watching a guy that was in the midst of giving back now, and that's what he was doing the last couple of years in his game, was giving back to the guys that he was playing against and for and all that stuff and with and you name it. And then after, he's been continuing to give back at all levels. Kids that are from high school going to college going into the NBA. He had relationships with all different types of guys. And all this stuff is coming forward of all the different things that he was doing with different basketball players at all levels. And that's the other thing that stands out, that here's a guy that, while he gave a lot to basketball, got a lot out of basketball, he was now taking that next step. And that was pretty cool of him to take that next step and take the time to mentor, to guide, to give advice to people, and be sometimes a pillar of stability for some. Now, I saw where Wilbon was talking about a story where, he had his health setback, and he had just came back from the hospital, and flowers were waiting for him, and it was from Kobe. And it was one of those things like he never expected, Kobe to be worried about him and where he was at. And, that's the kind of stuff that I got to tell you that's where, personally for me, I've been at this for 30 years, and that is one problem that I've had in the past, and I try to avoid, actually, believe it or not. I try to make as little friends as possible with players or coaches or whatever, because once I become a friend with a player or coach, man, how am I supposed to slam them if they screw up? It's impossible. You know what I mean? I just can't do it. You know what I mean? It's just one of those deals.
It's unacceptable. I can't remember his name. The sports guy from Chicago, and he started talking about Walter. And have you seen him lately? This, that, look how what's up with Walt? And ends up finding out that he's sick.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Exactly what you're right there.
Yeah. No, it just. But I mean, that's not that. To me, it's just one of those. And now, what I was meaning by that is that if I'm Wilbon and I'm getting those flowers from Kobe, and I right from there, it's like, okay, no matter what Kobe does, I can't slam the guy, because, wow, I mean, it's like he's going out of his way. I kind of had that issue a little bit, but I dropped it really quick. Mike Tannenbaum sent me flowers when I was in the hospital. And Mike's a really nice guy, man. Really nice guy. And that's kind of, that kind of messed me up a little bit. Like, okay, well, I've been slamming this guy for a long time. But I still got to stay. And I've told him straight to his face. That's the difference between me and most people. I've told, hey, Mike, I've heard you're a pretty good dude overall, but I completely disagree with your football philosophy. I've told him straight up, because that's who I am. I'm not gonna like, hey, make friends with you, and then when you turn around, I'm gonna be like stabbing you in the back, and no, dude, no, I'll stab you like right in front of you, okay, right in front of you. I'm not gonna dance around it or anything like that. No. I'll tell you straight up. If I am not in a good place with you, I'm going to tell you. I'd rather do that. And that I find that difficult for Wilbon at that point after that with Kobe. But again, shows Kobe's humanity and connection with people. And these are things that you and I never knew until a lot of this stuff is now being, aired out about who Kobe was and how he connected with a lot of people out there. So the passing of Kobe, we'll get into it. If you guys want to send us anything on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-3776. 1105. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the program. David Gascon is going to join us from Fox Sports West out there, yes, in the West Coast. He was out there. He's in the middle of that story covering it. He's going to join us. So we'll talk to him at noon. At 2 o'clock, our buddy Kobe Price from the South Florida Sun Sentinel, he wrote an interesting article about Dion Waiters. Got to get into that. And Dion showing some remorse. Dion being apologetic. Dion taking responsibility. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. So we'll get into that with Kobe Price on the program. I'm working on a couple of other things here that we might be able to get on here. So, hang in there with us. We'll be on till 2 o'clock. But this is going to be a really, really tough show because, talking about other subjects, it's almost awkward, right now because of this. But it's hard for me to do 4 hours on Kobe right now. It just is. I got to be completely honest. Well, we're going to talk a lot about it, and we'll take your comments on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, on the YouTube chat board if you're watching. George says prayers go out to everyone involved in this tragedy. So sad. Ian says much love to Kobe and his family. I'm in such shock. His next 20 years was going to be bigger and better than anything he did on the court. Tremendous loss. Raging Dolphin Maniac says first Neil Peart, now Kobe. Wow, we are losing our heroes. So sad. Nico says I was at the Super Bowl experience yesterday. When the news broke out on Kobe died, you could hear murmurs throughout the convention center as people were finding out. I even saw one guy with tears. I can imagine. I mean, there had to have been some moments for all of us where you were kind of breaking up. I mean, when you see Doc Rivers, come on, man. That's got to get to you. If you're a human being and you have, blood running through your heart, and you see Doc Rivers and that doesn't break you down, I don't know what's going to, what's going to make you feel, any normal than that, because that is all you need to see on what's going on in this situation, man. And by the way, they will retire his number now. They will induct it into the Hall of Fame. He'll go in with, I think it's Duncan and Garnett, I believe. So one hell of a class. He will be honored. I think Jerry Colangelo was the one that came out and said it, that we were talking about that yesterday. Hey, would he be inducted right away? And so they're going to induct him right away along with Garnett and Duncan. That's going to be awesome. I saw the Mavs are going to retire his number. Mark Cuban came out, said the number 24 will not be worn by anybody ever again. I don't know if the Heat will do that. I haven't heard anything yet. I haven't read up on everything and everybody in the league on what they're going to do, but I would imagine we're going to start hearing a lot of that in different places, because Mark Cuban came out and he said, hey, even though he has never played for the Mavs, nobody will ever wear the number 24 again. Michael Jordan said, I'm in shock over the tragic news of Kobe and Gianna's passing. Words can't describe the pain I'm feeling. I loved Kobe. He was like a little brother to me. We used to talk often, and I will miss those conversations very much. He was a fierce competitor, one of the greats of the game, and a creative force. Kobe was also an amazing dad who loved his family deeply and took great pride in his daughter's love for the game of basketball. Yvette joins me in sending my deepest condolences to Vanessa, the Lakers organization, and basketball fans around the world. Amazing stuff, man. And a guy that clearly moved a lot of people. No doubt about that. Yes, sir.
Doc, that choke up.
Yeah.
That, man, I got here.
Sorry, I don't have a lot to say. I just can't have to go talk to the team before a game and tell them to play.
Yeah. No, I mean, the Doc thing, when I saw it yesterday, it was heartbreaking, man. It was heartbreaking
I gotta talk
because
to
it
my
was
team before a game, and
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, and the subject yesterday also was, should they cancel the games? And I know because when I got in my car, I was listening to NBA radio on Sirius, and they were talking about, like, why are they playing these games? I was listening to Amin Al Hassan, Jason Jackson, a couple other people that they had on during that time, and they did a great job. Jason, by the way, was really broken up too on the air. Amin Al Hassan was just devastated, and they brought on Rod Thorne, all kinds of different people on to talk a little bit about it. But it's you can tell that everybody was affected by it, including the players. And I saw Rivers' kid come out and say, I don't really care that we lost the game, and I just wasn't feeling it at all today. And that was when Kennedy was shot and killed. Back then, it was the same thing about the commissioner allowed the NFL games to go on. And that was a bone of criticism for Pete Rozelle for a long, long time, that, people were critical of him for allowing the games to continue to play. And there was a lot of people in the country that thought it was wrong, that they shouldn't have played those games. That same type of thinking came across yesterday, and I got to tell you something. I get that rescheduling these games would have been a bit of a mission, but I think it would have been the right thing to do. I really do, because yesterday a lot of people, and I know Trae Young had an amazing game because he, emotionally he's a big Kobe fan, so he was, and here's the interesting part. We all grieve differently. There is no right way to grieve. Don't ever let anybody make you feel bad about the way you grieve, okay? Because there are people that will sit in a corner and sob. There are people that want to try to do something to keep their minds off of it, or do something to let out that emotion in another way. However you choose to mourn. I'm still mourning the death of my dad, 26 years later. So I mourn it every single day. There's not a day that I don't go by thinking about him. You know what I mean? I did plenty of crying, early on, and that doesn't mean that I don't every once in a while, break down a little bit because I miss him. So we all mourn, and we might mourn secretly. We might mourn publicly. We might want to mourn with the people we love, but we all do it differently. And Trae Young yesterday was inspired by it. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that was his way of honoring Kobe. If somebody wants to do it quietly, wants to go to a church and pray, there's nothing wrong with that either. I never understand the people that want to tell you how you need to mourn. We're all different, man. We all look at it in a different way. But I think yesterday, that was a legitimate thing to do, because we're talking about a guy that was really close to players. We're talking about a guy that people wear his shoes. Kids and players in the NBA wear his shoes and look up to him. I mean, DeMar DeRozan was one of the biggest Kobe fans out there. Absolutely devastated. Hard to put him out there and put him on the court. And, some people say, well, suck it up. A lot of those guys probably did not want to play those games yesterday. And maybe we should have given him that break off. I don't know. Maybe Adam Silver will receive some criticism for allowing the games to be played. Maybe it was too short notice to cancel since everybody's traveled. But I think what would have been better is everybody would have met at all these arenas, and it would have been a time to have vigils all across those NBA arenas. That might have been the better thing to do yesterday, because you put a lot of players emotionally in a really, really tough position. And the guys that maybe didn't want to play, you forced them to play. Where maybe it would have been, hey, a night off, make this game up at the end of the year if there are playoff spots and everything on the line. You can make it up at the end of the year and move on. Or find a day off that's left over in one of these trips or something like that, and maybe you can squeeze it in somewhere. You know, that you could have done something like that. That's a discussion that is a legitimate discussion. There's no doubt in my mind that that's a legitimate discussion. All right, let's take a quick break. We do want to remind you that the program is brought to you by EJD Construction. Please call Eric and John at 305-318-4978. That's 305-318-4978. And I'm not talking about a handyman. I'm talking about custom home construction, major home remodeling. This is the team you can trust. They work in homes that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions. That's right. And they do it all affordable. And listen, shell construction in-house, that's how they keep the cost down low. And their communication with you, the owner and the architect, is second to none. That way, whatever you're imagining will come to life with your home. So call EJD Construction. You can trust them. 305-318-4978. Make sure you tell them that Big O sent you. 305-318-4978. Call Eric and tell him Big O sent you. EJD Construction.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodsey can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All righty, welcome back. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can get in at 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. Hey, tomorrow, all right, we're going to have some fun. We're going to be at VSS West Pines. I can't wait, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be there every month now over at VSS West Pines. They've got the wide variety and excellent selection of roll your own cigars. Okay, they've got rolling papers like Raw and Smoking, hookahs, all price ranges from $19.99 and up. They even got the Khalil Mamoon. I'm going to be hanging out with Alex and Jose 2.0 and Sasha and Nugs and all the great people out there at, of course, VSSWestPines.com. Come on out and join us. We're going to be broadcasting out there from 11 to 3. It's at 12397 Pembroke Road, okay? 12397 Pembroke Road in Pembroke Pines. So come on out there, 11 to 3, all right? They've got all kinds of things out there, too. I'm telling you, CBD products, you name it. I'll be loading up on a couple of CBD products for myself, for sleeping, and for my wife, because she's got this nagging pain in her back, man. It's crazy stuff. But anyway, we will be over at VSS West Pines tomorrow, so make sure you join us out there if you're in the Pembroke Pines area. Would love to see you out at VSS West Pines. That'll be a really interesting broadcast tomorrow, okay? That's going to be a lot of fun out there. And we'll hopefully meet a lot of you out there. You come on out and join us, man. So we got some fun there. At noon, David Gascon is going to join us from Fox Sports West at 2 o'clock. Kobe Price from the South Florida Sun-Sentinel. He's covering the Heat. He covers Inter Miami. I can actually ask him some Inter questions too, by the way, because we're still waiting for that international player. So we can ask him that too, and get his. I guess we'll get Kobe's prediction on the Super Bowl, as it is Super Bowl week, and that's the tough part, right? This is not the way you want to start Super Bowl week, and we're talking about a player that affected every. I mean, Neymar across the world is scoring a goal and doing this, doing the 24 thing, you know. Because he was friends with Kobe. Kobe was a huge soccer fan. And you got Neymar. I mean, that tells you what this guy meant to the world of sports. Because great players, they can identify with other great players. And they know exactly what they look like. They know exactly what the DNA is. And they admire each other. Okay? Even if they hate each other, there's still going to be some level of admiration because they know that other player is really, really good like they are, you know? And that's the amazing part about Kobe. And and the impact he made. I don't know how many of you noticed it, but it went all the way down to the rock world. I don't know if you guys saw this, but in the rock world, they were absolutely mourning the loss of Kobe Bryant. There were guys all over the rock world that were like talking about this story and how much it was affecting them. They were tweeting it out, all of that stuff, man. It was one of those deals where Paul Stanley tweeted out a picture of him with Kobe, at the Staples Center, and they were like having a moment and talking. Flea said, a lifelong Lakers fan who played solo bass rendition of the national anthem before Bryant's final home game, which, okay, now my thing is refreshing, so I can't read this, so I've got to wait for it to stink and refresh. I hate when that happens. Anyway, Bryant's final last game in 2016 tweeted, I love you, Kobe. In a Rolling Stone interview, he called the Lakers champion a master of his craft. Okay, great. This is just brutal. Second time this thing freezes up on me, and now is refreshing. Brutal, dude. I'm sorry. I apologize. Anyway, a craft, and compared his on-court style to a virtuoso musician like Charlie Parker or John Coltrane or Jimmy Page or Jimi Hendrix. He says, I've watched, listened to, at least read about pretty much every game that Kobe played his entire career, he said, and I see someone who put a lot of stock in discipline and work ethic and nurturing his creativity. I just always have to respect him so much, even when he was young and arrogant and foolish and, arguably self-centered. He always meant so much to me. That's Flea, man. That's a bassist for a rock band in the Red Hot Chili Peppers, just in case those of you that don't know, Flea plays for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. We might have a couple out there. Paul Stanley put, wow, Kobe, such a shock. My condolences to his wife and children. Very, very sad. Hashtag Kobe Bryant. As a longtime Angelino, Kobe was a huge part of our lives. Robbie Robertson said, a true warrior and legend, blessing to his friends and family, devastating. For those of us who bleed green, Kobe Bryant was one player we love to hate, but always, always respected and admired, wrote Gary Sharon. His game was ferocious. My heartfelt condolences to his family. Hashtag legend. Flea tweeted out, I love you, Kobe. Let me see. What else do we have here? Rick Springfield tweeted out, Kobe Bryant, his greatness was such a big part of our lives. It's devastating. May his and Gianna's spirits soar. Love and peace to the Bryant family. Pat Benatar and Neil Girardo, heartbroken for Vanessa Bryant and the girls. Love and healing light during this time of unimaginable tragedy. John Fogerty, deeply saddened by the loss of a legend. Kobe Bryant pictured with our daughter in the 90s. We are thinking of his family and everyone affected by his unimaginable tragedy. Brett Michaels from Poison. Devastating news this morning. My thoughts and prayers and condolences go out to the entire Bryant family at this painful time. It just goes on. Billy Idol, hashtag Kobe Bryant, RIP. David Coverdale, tweets out, God bless Kobe Bryant. Todd Dammit Kearns goes, wow, just tragic. RIP Kobe. Sebastian Bach, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, plus your daughter Gianna. I am not a huge sports fan, but I cannot comprehend how cruel, unfair, and tragic life can be. Every day is another reminder. It seems like my heart breaks for your family and fans whom you inspired. The best of the best. It goes on. Zach Wild, God bless Kobe Bryant and his daughter. Slash, Gilby Clark. It just on and on. Rockers all over the world reacting to Kobe Bryant's passing. So it's not, when you are, a giant, when you transcend outside your sport, when you are a household name, that's when you are like Michael Strahan was big in football. Sure, he won a couple of Super Bowls and all that and had the sack record in the year and all that stuff. Michael Strahan now in Good Morning America? Oh, man, are you kidding me? He's in another stratosphere now. Because it's not just about your and my geeky world of sports. We're a small society, okay? When you're in Good Morning America, that's when you hit it big.
There's little old ladies all over America who know who Michael Strahan is now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no doubt. And that's why that's Kobe. Kobe became that. Kobe was big in sports, but he transcended because of that whole Mamba thing and the marketing and everything that went behind it. Remember what I tell you, everything that baseball doesn't have? Okay? That's what Kobe has and many other players on the real sports that are actually, still climbing and still popular in our society. Basketball, football, and now soccer. Baseball that doesn't get it. That's the reason why they don't get it. None of their players will be transcending. They just don't. But this guy does. And this guy did. And that's the difference. That even if you're not a sports fan, like one of the guys just said, you know who Kobe is? Your mom may not even follow sports. She probably knows who Kobe is. And that's where you have made a hell of a crossover. Because we sometimes, and this happens, your thinking, my thinking, we have this attitude sometimes in sports that we think that what we're following and talking about, everybody else is. And what people don't realize is that what you and I talk about, it's the minority. It's a minority, bro. It's not even close. Our world is small, man. Most people are not talking about sports. That's just the way it is. Most people, right? A hell of a lot more people are talking pro or against impeachment. That's what they're talking about. They're talking about the coronavirus, whatever, that they just found the third case in Orange County. More people are talking about that than anything in sports. But Kobe passing away, that's just not sports. That transcends. That becomes bigger. That rolls over into pop culture. That rolls over into news. That rolls over into lifestyle. Because he's affected all of that. The dude just won an Academy Award, right? Wasn't it an Academy Award that he just won? I mean, so that, again, puts him in another stage with a whole set of other people. Because there's a whole bunch of people that are watching going, who's that? Who's that? Oh, he's a basketball player. Oh, okay. Interesting. You know how many people did that when he won? A ton. Because he's at another level. He's one of those kind of people that you don't have to be a talk show fan, but you will know Oprah. Everybody knows Oprah. Even I barely ever watch the show, but I'm going to know her. You know what I'm saying? Most of you probably don't watch the show, but you know her. And these are people that cross over, and her genre obviously is way bigger than sports. Okay, if you're part of news and entertainment and all that, that's all bigger than sports. But there are those few type of people that can just move over to all kinds of areas because their name is so big, and they become household. And then that's when you know that when you turn on CNN yesterday and they're covering Kobe, I don't, you know what? I'm not even going to say another name, but if another NBA player died in that helicopter crash and he was a 12th man on a basketball team, it would be a blip on the ESPN crawl, and it won't be on CNN, and it won't be on Fox. But you turn on Fox and Friends, and they're covering Kobe. And you turn on CNN and Wolf Blitzer, and they're covering Kobe. And you turn on MSNBC, and they're covering Kobe and dropping the N-word. I'm sorry. Anyway, but yes, did you guys see that reporter? She's disgusting. Anyway, so, and we'll play that later. All of this stuff, you know what I mean? You transcend. And then that means you affect so many more people than you normally would. That's why I read off all these rock stars. Because it doesn't matter if you're Alicia Keys or Boys to Men and you're out there singing, singing a tribute to Kobe. It shows you. Doesn't matter, rock, R&B, lifestyle, news, sports, every level. You turned on E, they were covering the Kobe tragedy. Everybody was covering it. Because that guy is one of those few individuals that crosses over. So it so impressive, you know what I mean? And the one thing that tells you that the only light that comes out of all of this, because this is tragic, this is depressing, but the only thing that's positive out of all of this is that Kobe did make an impact. He did reach a lot of people. He did inspire a lot of people. And if there's one thing that if he's up there right now looking down, he can be happy about, and he's watching, is that, guess what? He touched a lot of people. A lot of people cared for him. A lot of people are hurting right now. Especially that Laker fan base and that Kobe fan base, which is incredibly fanatical. I mean, they were so fanatical, there was a portion of them that they didn't want LeBron there. It took Kobe, guys, it's all right. He's part of the family. He's good. He kind of needed a godfather-like acceptance so LeBron can get accepted by everybody, because a lot of the Lakers accept Laker fan nation, but that Kobe fan base is crazed about him. And that was a hurdle that, LeBron had to kind of overcome a little bit. But it took Kobe to do that, to kind of part that Red Sea for him. Let's see what we got here. Nothing worse than when the media smiles in someone's face and then daggers them in the back. Most do it. Well, it's true. I mean, that's just the way it is. Big O, I've been really busy and haven't been able to watch every show. Have you announced the Tommy Rockers seat packages yet? Why? I'm not doing that, bro. You got to call Tommy Rockers and reach out to them and ask them when do they start taking reservations for all of that. I know that they're going to start doing it. I don't know when. I'm not in charge of that, my man. I'm in charge of flying my ass over there and doing the show for 3 days and hanging out with you guys, Kelvin, and rapping and having fun and all that. I am not in charge of Tommy Rockers. Tommy Rockers is more than capable of handling his own. So you got to call him and you got to call them and find out how they're handling the draft. So my suggestion is pick up a phone. They don't charge you long distance anymore. Call them, man. Cell phones are a beautiful thing. And ask them, Kelvin, and I'll see you in Vegas. But, yeah, the good thing, I think they're going to do reservations, and your best thing is to try to reserve your spot for 1, 2, or 3 days. Okay? No doubt. Kobe's ESPN detail was great. He truly was a student of the game, and it was one of the NBA's best. He could find something for them to improve on. Trailblazer says the Weather Channel app sent an alert about the conditions at the time of the crash. Speaking of crossover, yes. And by the way, the pilot had permission to special permission to fly in those conditions. So FAA reported that. So let's make sure we're not throwing out any misinformation out there or try to make it sound like the pilot was irresponsible or anything along those lines. I think it was just a tragic accident that we kind of went through. All right, let's do this. Let's take a break. When we come back, David Gascon from Fox Sports West is going to join us. We'll talk a little Kobe. He was covering it yesterday as it broke. That is next.
Truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show.
All right, we start hour number 2.
This is the Big O Show.
We promised you David Gascon from Fox Sports West would be joining us. You could follow him on Twitter at David J. Gascon, Gascon. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. David, am I pronouncing it right? Is it Gascon? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I'm not hearing you. Hold on. Wait a minute. All right. So we'll get David on in 1 second here, and we'll get him on here in 1 second, and we'll talk to him, and we'll get his impressions on what's going on. He was there, by the way. He was covering the story as it broke out west, covering the Kobe Bryant story. So we'll get him on, and we'll get his thoughts, and obviously his feel for the environment right now, because I would imagine it's Southern California is right now as quiet as it's been in a long time. It's almost as if you had an earthquake shatter the area and people are kind of recovering from it when it's, a helicopter crash. But the individual that perished along with the other 8, but specifically Kobe, obviously, affecting that area. And I would imagine that so many people right now are walking around like zombies. Again, 41, man, you're not supposed to. I mean, I can't even think about the 13-year-old child. And the other children. In fact, I can't think about the children in the helicopter. That part drives me crazy as a father, because like, you don't want to lose Kobe or anybody else there, but wow, losing those kids. That part has got to eat you alive right there. That's the part that just becomes devastating. All right, David Gascon from Fox Sports West. I believe we have him now. David, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. How's it going?
Very good, my man. So the Latino in me, Gascon, is that what am I right here? Am I in the right direction?
Yeah, you are. Half French, half Latino. You're out of the money.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Cubano in me comes out a little bit, so I see Gascon, and so I feel like having, and I feel like also accentuating it too, Gascon. So,
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Little umph in it. Yeah, absolutely.
I like it. All right, David. I was talking about this, that I would imagine that Southern California right now it's almost like you had like an earthquake go on, even though it was a helicopter crash on a hill and 9 people perished. I would imagine that part of the country in Southern California, it's almost like a majority of the people are walking around like zombies going, what the hell happened, right?
Yeah, it's a numbing feeling, and one in the sense where you read about it, and then you wait for verification, and then you wait for verification, and you wait for verification. And when this story broke, I was on the air at Fox Sports Radio as soon as the story had broke, and even at that moment when I'm on the air going through this report, I was extremely hesitant about even going on the air with it because TMZ was the first to report on it, and so I didn't want to go that route unless I had confirmation, but they were the only source that was there. And I just had remembered during my commute up to the studios in Sherman Oaks that I had seen on Twitter that there was an accident regarding a plane in the Calabasas area, and that authorities were in that area to clear debris and put out a fire. So I thought, nothing of the two, that they were going to be correlated. And then all of a sudden, an hour later, it's not a plane, it's a helicopter. And, oh, by the way, Kobe Bryant is in it, along with his 13-year-old daughter and 7 other people. So when that news broke, and then, obviously you're trying to figure out who else is on board this thing, you just don't know how bad it can get. And obviously, whenever someone loses a child, it's tragic, and it's even worse that it's multiple kids that were on this flight to Thousand Oaks. So it was, all in all, it was a absolutely horrendous day in Los Angeles. I mean, talk about just the basketball world alone, it's one thing, but it's the entire sports world that was really affected by this. And you saw the tributes across the NBA. You saw the impact overseas, and so it's still a numbing feeling. And now, obviously, the investigation is begin with the National Transportation Safety Board. So I'll be extremely curious to see how this all pans out, since I've been reading a lot of reports this morning about the pilot and whatnot, and how this flight from John Wayne Airport to Burbank to Thousand Oaks actually took place. So all in all, it's absolutely brutal to everybody, and losing an icon like this is such a shot to the gut of Los Angeles, and it's going to hurt for a while.
Yeah, and I was talking about this, not just the sports world, David, everybody, man. I read off Flea and Paul Stanley and Robbie Robertson and Rick Springfield and Pat Benatar and John Fogerty and all these rockers all over the world that were reacting. This is not just a guy, an athlete that died. This is a guy that transcended sports, because Kobe's a guy that your mom knows, even if she doesn't follow basketball, or your grandfather, they may not follow basketball. He'll know Kobe. That's the difference. This is a dude that affected everybody, because you turned on CNN, they were covering it. You turned on E, they were covering it. You turned on, obviously, ESPN, they were covering it. And obviously, you guys at Fox were all over the thing. But it didn't matter what genre you were looking at. Everybody was talking about this, man. It didn't matter if it was World News Tonight. Everybody talked about it.
Yeah, the world kind of gets rocked in certain ways, and obviously when it happens like this in the sports world, because sports is kind of a microcosm of who we are as individuals and who we are as a nation, right? In some instances, because you just look at the guy itself and Kobe Bryant, you're going to hear a lot of things about him throughout the course of the next couple of weeks, including his memorial service. But the one thing, whether people liked him, people hated him, people always respected his game. And when it came to the game of basketball, and in fact the way he lived his life, is that it was full tilt, it was hard, it was into the sixth gear. Like, he went as hard as humanly possible. And while tragic that he dies at the age of 41, the one thing I can say is that he maxed out 41 years. And not that many people can say something like that. People can go through life and live 70, 80, 90 years and not go through it as hard as they possibly can and exceed all expectations and overachieve. And he did just that. But back to your point, yeah, I mean, you talked about like Neymar yesterday. had a tribute to him when he scored a goal on a penalty kick. The Grammys last night, when they kicked off, there was a tribute to Kobe Bryant. News all over the place on different outlets. You had people that were at Staples Center, even when the Grammys were going on. They were advised not to. The Mamba Academy Museum up in Thousand Oaks, you had people over there, obviously dropping off flowers and gifts and things of memory for Kobe Bryant. So, yeah, it's one of those things where it spread quickly, and it was touching everybody. I thought it was a fascinating tribute for Mark Cuban to say that nobody in Dallas Mavericks history will ever wear the number 24. So that will be a jersey that will be retired. I don't know exactly how they're going to do that. I know there's a petition out for the NBA to change the logo from Jerry West to Kobe Bryant. So all kinds of things obviously being touched, but this is a guy obviously at 41. And not only him, obviously the children that were involved too, that had a full-fledged life in front of them, and it was obviously cut short.
Yep, no doubt. I just saw Salma Hayek put on an Instagram post that said, "I met a boy once. I saw him turn into a legend. He made the world feel that everything is possible when every day is precious. R.I.P. Kobe Bryant." That was pretty cool, and it's a really cool little video, like aha video type of Kobe. I like it. It was really cool, really classy by her.
Yeah, it was weird just because the crossover between artists and athletes and whatnot. And I was talking about this on air yesterday. I enjoy music as much as anybody else, and I remember the day that Aaliyah died in her plane crash, and she was 21 years of age.
Baby.
And I remember how much that rocked the entertainment industry. That was a spry, fruitful, talented artist, and her life was cut short. And even still, you have a lot of artists that still attribute their work to what she did and kind of how she paved the way for so many people that wanted to rise to her level. And the same thing with Kobe Bryant. I mean, I know Kyrie Irving took the day off yesterday because obviously for personal reasons, and those personal reasons were Kobe Bryant's passing. I was a little shocked that the NBA actually played their games yesterday, but there were just so many guys. I mean, this is just barroom talk, right? When you go into a bar, you go to a lounge, you're at a buddy's house, and you're talking, you compare all the greats. Magic, Jordan, Kareem, you go back to Jerry West, but then you go to the contemporaries of obviously LeBron James and Kobe Bryant and the 5 titles, and you can't have a conversation about those guys without obviously Kobe Bryant involved in it, and it's always a heated discussion because you can look at the accolades, the achievements, and what they did for such a long period of time, and that's the thing, he lived a great life and a 20-year career that he achieved so much. And if you think about it, he paved the way, but also kind of ignited the fire for so many guys that had the ambition of leaving from high school to get to the NBA. Some could do it, some couldn't do it, but regardless, it was about playing to your fullest potential and playing every single minute until the buzzer sounds. And that's exactly what he did when he scored 60 against Utah in game 82 of his final game of his career.
No doubt. David Gascon, of course, from Fox Sports West, joining us. You can follow him on Twitter at David J. Gascon. David, what is the talk now coming out of Los Angeles when it comes to the Lakers? And are you hearing anything on what they're going to do tomorrow in that Lakers-Clippers game? Because I would imagine that is going to be one very emotional game inside the building. Plus, we saw what's been happening outside of the Staples Center. I would imagine tomorrow it's going to be a vigil on the outside, too. How are they going to handle all of this?
Yeah, things are pretty quiet right now. I'll be fascinated to see what the television ratings are on this, because you talk about games that you think Lakers, Celtics, that crosstown kind of intersection of rivalries, but you get Clippers and Lakers and whatnot. Jerry West has issued a statement. He did that yesterday. Magic Johnson did the same, but it's been relatively silent from the Lakers front office right now. Because you think about Rob Pelinka, his former agent, Jeannie Buss, Doc Rivers yesterday was extremely emotional before they took to court yesterday. But we'll wait and see. It's been pretty silent, and for good reason. Just because I still think that everyone's trying to digest this, because it's not like this guy. It was 70 or 80 or 90 years old, and he became sick, or he just died of natural causes. This is an abrupt close to his life, where when he retired, he had the retirement tour, and he knew exactly what he was doing, and he was setting off and saying goodbye. And this was not the case. And so, I think part of the reason why there's so much silence on this is just out of respect for the families that are involved. And keep in mind that one daughter that was on that trip, she passed away, but he's got 3 other daughters. He's also got his wife Vanessa that survived. And so I think they're going to be very, very cautious to how they're going to approach this thing, and make sure that they do it right, because I think everyone involved is going to be respectful of their needs, especially since there's so many. Because when you think about Los Angeles and sports, it's not the Rams, it's not the Chargers. At times it could be the Raiders, but it's either the Dodgers or it's the Lakers, and this is a Lakers town. So when you think about LA, you think Showtime, you think about Dr. Bus, and you think about Magic, and then you think about Shaq and Kobe, and then Kobe and Gasol, and things of those natures. So yeah, I think they're going to do it right, but it's been pretty quiet right now, just because I think everyone's still trying to digest what happened over the last 24 hours.
Yeah, and the thing that I think also eats at a lot of people is, okay, he's 41, and it would be tragic for anybody to die at 41, just like it's even more tragic to the cost of the children that we lost in that flight, obviously. But I don't want to use any other names, but, okay, if he kind of retired and then just went in like a hermit crab and disappeared, I don't know if there would be the same reaction. The difference is he was out in public. He was helping high schoolers. He was helping college kids move on to the NBA. He was helping current NBA players. He was a pillar of stability for a lot of people. What's it called? He was winning, an award already for an Academy Award. We're talking about a guy that was looking to make an impact in so many other ways. It wasn't like, okay, I'm done with my career. I'm just going to sit back, relax, enjoy my money, and disappear into the sunset and never do anything again. This guy was in the forefront and in a lot of people's lives. And I think that's what really bothers you too, is that Kobe had taken that next step of mentoring and leadership and away from the court, which was helping so many people out. I thought that was huge.
Yeah, and to your point, he was a superstar that wasn't seeking celebrity status, right? I mean, that's a guy that knew what kind of talents he had, but wanted to exceed those. And whenever you think about the NBA today, about load management and guys taking nights off and guys having minutes restrictions, Kobe wasn't that kind of guy. For all that people said, and I was certainly one of them, about the Lakers signing into a final 2-year deal and how he was getting that kind of cash on the bag nine. The one thing I did not ever say and did not ever doubt was that he would actually earn the money. And there's not many guys you could say that in today's day and age, whether it's the NBA, Major League Baseball, the NFL, the NHL. Like, Kobe was one of those guys where you got your money's worth with that guy because you knew exactly what you were getting from him. He was going to try to shoot his way out of a slump. He was going to try to will your team to win. And once he caught fire, you got to get out of the way. Defensively, he was reliable as well, too. So, I mean, this is a guy that went up and down the court and didn't take nights off. Training-wise, the guy was an absolute animal, because you can hear the stories about him from the crack of dawn to the late night, whether he worked out and warmed up or worked out a couple hours before actual game until the nighttime. And then, yeah, your testament to what he did after. I mean, winning an Academy Award, opening up the Mamba Academy up in Thousand Oaks, but the dedication to his family, too. So it wasn't like he was always out front and center in front of people and in front of the Hollywood elites and whoever it may be. He was a family guy that came first with 4 daughters, and then obviously his wife and Gianna, the 13-year-old that passed away as well too. She was a basketball junkie as well. She wanted to be just like her dad, and she played the game and obviously wanted to grow and eventually be a WNBA star. So it was one of those things where he had a lot of different, he had a lot of different irons in the fire, and for good reason, because he wanted to maximize his time here, and he tried doing that, and that's the most unfortunate thing. So yeah, when he talked about the way that he was perceived from the outside as opposed to the inside, I think it was relatively similar. I mean, when he went to do charity events and go to functions and do all this philanthropy work, he didn't do it for attention. He didn't want cameras around. He didn't want newspaper outlets there. So these were things that were after the fact that they were reported on. So he certainly did not seek out that kind of celebrity status that, more often than not, we get some of the modern day athletes that try to do. So, yeah, it's a gut punch, and one that I think will have ripples throughout the country.
David, are you from the Los Angeles area?
Yeah, born and raised in Los Angeles. Bounced around a little bit between San Diego and Boston and a little bit in Arizona, but yeah, born and raised in Los Angeles. So,
well, that's me. That's the media business that made your ass bounce around, right? That's what it was, right?
Yeah, media, school, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
You know how to do it. Duty calls. So whenever you get a call, you gotta go.
No,
so
I'm with you. I'm with you. But you and I are freaks, right? Because I'm a real Floridian, born in South Florida. You're a real Southern California dude, born in Southern California. We're weirdos, right? Because both of our states are transient. We get a whole bunch of people from everywhere else, right? Isn't it like that over there? That not many real Los Angelinos, as they say.
Yeah, no, it's so true. I gotta say that much because I got a family that lives out in St. Pete, so right. I get to Florida enough. But yeah, you hit the nail right on the head. You get so many people that come, whether it's from military or job placement, or just the change in scenery from the Midwest to where we're out here in LA, or Orange County for that matter too. It's yeah, you get a lot of people from different walks of land as opposed to the natives here, and so yeah, I'm one of the rare breeds born and raised here in Los Angeles, so I am a native.
All right, so how did Kobe touch you personally? Were you a Kobe fan, or did you actually grow up a Clipper fan?
No, it's funny you ask that, because just before I broke in the story on air, I was actually talking to Steve Harbin, who I was working on a show with, and I said, Steve, you know this. When you talk LeBron and Kobe Bryant, you got to differentiate it, because there's two types of fans. There's Laker fans, and then there's Kobe fans.
Right.
And when there was that rift between Shaq and Kobe, more often than not, people would take a side. Are you on Kobe's side? Are you on Shaq's side? And I was one of those guys. I took Shaq's side. I thought the Lakers in the early 2000s were led by him, but I thought Kobe was a perfect complement to the Batman and Robin kind of duo. But when you reflect and then you watch those series against Sacramento and against Portland and against San Antonio and Philadelphia and the Pacers, anyone that got in their way, it was Kobe first or Shaq first, but it was always a 1-2 punch. And someone would come with the haymaker. And then when you watch him against the Celtics and against the Orlando Magic, it was the same thing with Kobe and Gasol, and then the supporting cast with Ron Artest and company. So, yeah, I mean, when I think about him, I don't think about the 81 points. I don't think about him throwing up 60 or 50 or 40. I just think that is an athlete that maxed out his potential and that lived a fruitful life. And so I go back to what I mentioned earlier, is that, yeah, he lived until he was only 41, but not everyone gets to live a full life to max out on everything that they were given, their God-given abilities, and he did just that. I mean, he, bilingual, he knew multiple languages, and he got to travel. He won a couple of gold medals, an NBA MVP. You mentioned the Academy Awards and winning an award there, but NBA titles, he got 5 of them, 2 jerseys retired. So I grew up as an athlete, played collegiate sports, and it's one of those things where you try to get to your highest potential, and he did so on the grandest stage in one of the greatest countries in the world, and he did so in Los Angeles. And so for me, it's about maxing out on your potential, and he did just that. And so when I think of him, I think of that. The title is one thing, but we've seen athletes come and go that have all the great potential in the world and all the great skills, and don't win anything, a Super Bowl or World Series, an NBA title. But for me, it's that guy. Like, he earned his money, and he did it to the fullest.
Well, and he was successful again because he's motivated so many, and in his own way motivated you a little bit there. And I think that's the beauty for Kobe. If he is looking above, he has to feel pretty good about the reactions out there and how many people he touched. And I think that's the other thing I would imagine, David, that we'll close it out with this. That's the one thing that you're seeing now, right? That now we get to see how many people he actually reached. And in only 41 years, it seems like a lot. The shame is if we would have given him another 30, the impact he could have made would have been just absolutely ginormous. But at least he's got to feel that he made one heck of an impact, even all the way down to that Mamba mentality.
Yeah, because you reflect on, you can compare this to other athletes that have just had their careers cut short. To think, well, what if this guy had an extra 5 years on his career, or if this guy actually won a title, or what if this guy had a better supporting cast? The what if, and I think that part comes into play now too, because you didn't have the what ifs with basketball, but you had the what ifs with his second leg of his career, and that is an entrepreneur, a coach, a father, and a husband. And so there was a lot wanting, and you'll never know. And you'll get people, and obviously I'm one of them, they'll just say, well, why does this have to happen? And why was his life cut short at such a young age? Because 41's young, especially here in LA. So that's the thing. And now you'll be able to hear some great testimony. You'll be able to hear some great stories and people talking about that and talking about him, and of course the projects that he's working on. But also, I think the other thing is just the family aspect. You got friends, you got acquaintances, but family's number one. And there's just this giant gaping hole now in the Bryant family, because obviously the loss of him and his daughter Gianna, and that eats at your soul, and it gets magnified because when you're younger, when we're kids, you don't think about those types of things. You don't think about taxes and a job, and you don't think about school or a future or career. You just live your daily life. And now, as you get into your 20s, 30s, and 40s and 50s, those things get so magnified because you really know the value and significance of it, and at a moment's notice it can be taken. And that's just another example.
Follow him on Twitter at David J. Gascon. He's out there at Fox Sports West covering the Kobe Bryant story and covering, of course, stuff for Fox Sports West. David, thank you for taking some time, my man. We really appreciate it. Look forward to doing it again, and hopefully in better circumstances, my friend.
Sounds good. Thanks for the invite.
You got it, my brother. Be good. Thank you very much. Mi hermano David Gascon from Fox Sports West. My other hermano is Eric Murias from Murias Dental. Go to muriasdental.com. I've got my Invisaligns on right now. And, of course, our show is proudly sponsored by Murias Dental. Go visit them, 305-821-0231. Whether you need to clean your teeth, whether you got to get a cavity filled, a crown, or, how about this, implants or Invisalign, they are the experts. You want to straighten out those teeth? You want to have a little bit... You want to be more prideful of your smile? I know I have not been lately, okay, because my teeth got a little crooked down there, so I don't smile brightly, you know what I mean, because I'm kind of embarrassed. So I went to Murias Dental. Now I'm in the works. I'm in my third stage of my Invisaligns. You can do it too, folks. Call them 305-821-0231. Fix those teeth, feel better, smile brighter for 2020. Call MoodySDental.com, 305-821-0231.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SCT, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodsey can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
Band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. 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 is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Alrighty, welcome back. We take you, of course, till 3. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, the other way you can reach out to us is on Twitter. And that's at Big O Show. Of course, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, which we love you for watching and keeping it locked here, you can always comment on the chat board there. We just put out a poll question on Twitter. Wanted to get your thoughts on this. TMZ broke the story yesterday, okay? Because we were on the air yesterday towards the end of our show when that thing came across in the it was the last half hour of our show, basically.
It's about 2:40.
Yeah, the last half hour of our show, and we, we talked about it, and it kind of, I got to be honest, it kind of threw me off towards the end. I almost felt terrible doing that last interview because it had nothing to do with it. But it's just like today it's a really difficult day to talk about other things because of this. You know what I'm saying? And there really isn't a lot of other things to talk about, actually. I've got a couple things that I am going to get into in this hour. And we'll get into it before we get to Kobe Price at 2:00. But we wanted to put out a poll question because yesterday TMZ broke the story before Vanessa Bryant and anybody else knew about it. So they found out through TMZ. The world found out through TMZ. So I want to put out a poll question out there. And because if you're in that spot, do you want to find out that way, or would you rather find out through the authorities, kind of, behind the scenes, and then that way you get to release the information? In this world, that's really hard, and with famous people, it becomes even harder to keep that kind of stuff under wraps. So we put out a poll question out there. What are your thoughts on TMZ breaking the Kobe Bryant story before the family was told? And there's only 2 answers. It's their job, no problem. It's wrong. Okay? So far, 82% of you are saying that it's wrong. Actually, it's gone down now. 62% of you are saying it's wrong. It's up now. 38% are saying it's their job, no problem. Interesting. I'd like to see how that voting goes now and what how people view that situation, because there's a lot of people that are bothered by it, and I can understand both because I'm in the media, so I get it. And I also get that it's really hard to kind of keep any of this kind of stuff under wraps. It just is. I mean, come on. This is an enormous story. And when you find out about it, and because they're in the business of breaking, and TMZ, this is not the first death that they report. TMZ does this all the time. They are one of the best at this. They rarely ever make a mistake nowadays. Early TMZ made some mistakes. 10 plus years ago, they made their share of mistakes because I've been following them for a long time. And hell, I used to have a TMZ segment on my show. I would have one of the guys from TMZ come on every week and everything. So I got to know them a little bit, but they, as of whatever the last few years, they are impeccable when it comes to this. Now, that doesn't make it right, or maybe it's not wrong. I guess it all depends on where you look at it. And do you put yourself in Vanessa's position? The Bryant family, how do they feel about this? Because, think about this. You're just hanging out and you get a TMZ thing and people start, can you imagine how many people started texting to Vanessa? Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about this. And she hasn't even heard from an official person that her husband is dead, that her daughter is dead. And meanwhile, by the way, we didn't know about the daughter at that moment. So if she gets it that Kobe Bryant is dead, she's the one that knows that her daughter was with him. Who's to know? This happens a lot too. Who's to say they weren't in contact right before they crashed? Because it happens a lot where people get on their phones and they try to contact somebody they love, and sometimes they can and sometimes they can't. And maybe that helicopter, maybe they had enough time. I don't know. I don't know how long they were fighting that engine trouble or whatever kind of trouble that they had. And by the way, for those of you that were questioning the dense fog and all those things, apparently the pilot had permission to fly in those conditions and was getting guidance. Now, we don't know what, the NTSB, right? The National Transportation Safety Board, I think that's how it is. The NTSB is investigating it now, like they investigate all of these crashes, and they'll tell us. And they'll give us the insight on what really went on in that accident. But you can go to our Twitter page at Big O Show, and I want to know what your thoughts are on TMZ breaking the Kobe Bryant story before the family was told. Okay? I want to know what your thoughts on that one. Right now, it's 73% of you say it's wrong. 27% of you say it's their job. No problem. And this is one where I got to tell you, that's a story that kind of will throw you off a little bit. I will say that. Kobe Price is going to join us from the South Florida Sun-Sentinel at 2 o'clock. He wrote a story of Dion Waiters, and the Heat are back in action tonight. And I don't know what the Heat are going to do tonight. That's the question. How are the Heat going to handle this whole Kobe Bryant? They'll do something. I can guarantee you the Heat will do something. They are a classy organization. They are well in touch with anything and everything going on, locally, nationally. That's the one thing I love about Pat Riley. There's a lot of things to love about Pat Riley, but most of you have never covered him. I have for many years as a coach, I'm talking about. Wasn't only the president, but as the coach. One of the things I love about Pat Riley, that he is unlike any other coach on the planet that I've covered, actually. I'm trying to think of if there's another coach I've ever covered. Most of them are blindfolders. Blinds on, and just all I'm thinking about is hockey. All I'm thinking about is football. All I'm thinking about is basketball. All I'm thinking about is baseball. You can't ask me about anything else because I don't know about anything else. That's not Pat Riley. Pat Riley follows everything, man. You can talk pop culture with him. You can talk music. You can talk news. You can talk. He just keeps up with everything. He'll know what the Dolphins are doing. The Dolphins coach won't know anything that the Heat are doing, or the Panthers, or the Marlins. But Pat Riley will. Pat Riley will have he's not going to tell you every little detail about it, but he's going to know if they're doing well. He's going to know the coach. He's going to know the manager. He's going to know whatever. Okay? Whatever sport we're talking about. He's going to know. He's a well-rounded individual, which, of course, trickles down to the rest of the organization, which is a well-rounded organization, which is not just about themselves. They understand the public. That's why Mickey Arison lowers prices in the 08 and 09 season leading up to 10 when he knew he wasn't giving you a product that you really wanted, yet you were still going to the playoffs, by the way. But still, he lowered the prices. Okay? You know? Not that Derek Jeter's going to be doing stuff like that, but you know what I'm saying. So, these are things that they get, and they're going to do something special for Kobe tonight. I mean, they have the best media, not just media relations, but they have the best production crew out there. Because when you go to a Heat game, the video, the production, all of that, forget it, dude. Panthers, Marlins, Dolphins, I don't know who the hell Inter Miami's hiring. They're all way behind the Heat. Okay, I haven't even seen Inter Miami, and I can already tell you they're going to be way behind the Heat. Okay? Everybody's behind the Heat. Stand in line, bitch. You got a lot to learn.
Haven't even gotten a chance to come out of the blocks,
Nothing.
and you're already losing the race.
Yeah, they lost that race. They got it. Well, I mean, the Heat is the Heat, bro. That's what we got to do. The Heat is the organization in town. Okay? They are the only marquee organization in town. I believe Inter will become that. I do. But, they're not there yet. Got to give them some time, and they got to show it to us. There's only one marquee franchise in town. It's the Miami Heat. And it's because of that dude, Pat Riley.
What was it? We had Dwayne Wade, right?
Yeah, I think we had him here.
A couple weeks later, Kawhi, Toronto.
Right.
And the production difference when we were talking about it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Totally paled.
Yeah.
And you were like, well, come on, you can't compare what we're doing to,
Right. Yeah, the Heat are...
Or, a real deal, like, full-fledged movie, and you're talking about, like, a show.
Right.
30-minute show.
Yep. David Greer says, they broke the Michael Jackson death. That's what reminded me of yesterday. Mark Clapper. Do you have the clap, Mark? Breaking the story, sure, that's one thing, but attaching the name to it, classless. An utterly low-budget move, as was WPO Felicia Soma's need to tweet out the article regarding, yes. That was terrible, too. Yeah, that was the, I've got that story, too. There are people that in this world, unfortunately, they just have hate in their heart. You know what I mean? And that's where, things like that come from. I mean, the MSNBC lady, wow. You talk about a Freudian slip of Godzilla-like proportions. That was one right there. And we've had this conversation before. Okay? When you have slip-ups like that, it's because you think like that. Okay? When it comes out, it's because it's in there, dude. It's in here. Right? Those mistakes don't happen. If you don't have hate in your heart, if you don't have bias in your heart, then it's not going to come out of your mouth. It's pretty simple. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, there's an MSNBC reporter, and she says the N-word, okay? Let me play it for you. She's reporting the Kobe Bryant death, right? Here it goes.
You couldn't deny how much he brought to the team, no matter which team, which Lakers team he played on.
Yeah, it seems like he was just the kind of athlete, the kind of star that was perfectly cast on the Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita, if I could ask you to stay with us for.
From Lakers to N-word. Come on, dude. Come on. My brother, that's like that's the kind that the plastic man can't make that stretch. I'm sorry for you youngins out there. I used an old reference. You probably have no idea who Plastic Man is. But what can I use as what is a modern day person for stretch? What can I use? What would be my reference now? That's a stretch. What's the modern day version of it that a millennial or a Generation Z will understand? Trying to can you think of one? No, right? I mean, this is what I hate. If I could come up with a modern day reference, I use it. But if I can't come up with it, I'm sorry. Now, that's a stretch.
You couldn't deny how much he brought to the team, no matter which team, which Lakers team he played on.
Yeah, it seems like he was just the kind of athlete, the kind of star that was perfectly cast on the Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita, if I could ask you to stay with us for...
Wow. And she issued an apology that she was trying to say Lakers and Knicks. Bro, there's G's in there. There's G's. Any G's in Knicks? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure of that there are no G's in Knicks.
Perfectly cast on the Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita, if I could ask you to stay with us for...
Yes.
On the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yes. Yeah. No. Yeah. That sounds like Lakers and Knicks. Yeah. You know perfectly. That's not a mistake. I just want you to know that. At least that's the way I look at things. That's the same thing as being drunk. Same thing. When you catch somebody drunk and they spill their guts, it's because they're telling you the truth. Because alcohol is a truth serum. And Freudian slips are that coming out. That's not a mistake. Don't let anybody ever pass that crap on you. Okay? When you don't have hate in your heart, it doesn't come out of here. All right? That's the only way to look at it. Because I know, because that's how I am. I have no hate in my heart for any race, any religion, any sex, nothing. It doesn't cross my mind. I treat you the way you're going to treat me. I'm going to respect you the way you'll respect me, and that's it. I don't call you a Cuban idiot. I don't call you a white idiot. I don't call you a country idiot, a black idiot, a Puerto Rican idiot. No. I'll just call you an idiot. But when you hear those people throw in, she's a blank bitch, he's a blank whatever, and when they throw in that nationality, that color, that religion, the size, because some people might also be, fat shamers, and they just want to pick on you for that. Oh, that fat bastard. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff. That's hate, man. That's hate. That, what you just heard there?
Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita, if I could ask you to stay with us for...
This is hate, bro. Hate.
Perfectly cast on the Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita.
Come on, man. You don't think that. If you think that, that's because that's who you are. That's all. It's pretty simple. There's no slips there. There's no mistakes there. There never is. All right? Never. It's a mistake. It's an exposure is what it is. It's like Ryan Tannehill having to use his arm to beat you. Exposure. It's like Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson having to live from the pocket and getting exposed. That kind of stuff. Just a different kind of exposure. That's all. That's what she got. Exposed for being a racist.
perfectly cast on the Los Angeles Lakers could be that if I could ask you.
Wow. That's a slip up that it doesn't happen if you're not racist. That's all. She can give me whatever explanation she wants. She can apologize all she wants. I don't believe a damn thing she says. Okay? That apology as she gave me, or gave us, I'm saying. Well, no, I was trying to mix Lakers and Knicks. Yeah, where are the G's? Huh? Where are the G's? Because I don't hear any G's in Lakers or in Knicks. Is there any G's? Can you remind me again, Bill? Any G's at all in the word Knicks?
No, not that I could say.
How about Lakers?
That would be a negative as well.
Okay, so she says she was mixing Lakers and Knicks.
Perfectly cast on the Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay, all right. No, I'm just, that's well, that sounds like Lakers and Knicks to me mixed. Whoa, yeah, no doubt. Yeah. You go ahead. I've got a bridge for you in the Keys. If you believe her, I got a bridge in the Keys I want to sell you. Seriously. It's awesome. Okay? Waterfront property for you. I'll give you a good price on it. Call me. I'll sell you that bridge. 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. Plastic Man getting some love from Big O. What's next? Stretch Armstrong. There you go. Not bad. Not bad. Let's see. What else do we have? I hated Kobe on the court, but yesterday I cried a lot. I felt like I lost a family member. Man of 1,005 holds says the Heat will probably retire one of Kobe's numbers. I mean, that's I could see them retiring one. Yeah. Estefan, unacceptable. That's up to the local law. I guess he was not happy that TMZ broke it. George says TMZ seems to be the best in this type of stuff. They are. NorCal says, Big O, did you have any favorite players from the Shrine Game and Senior Bowl weeks? Shrine Game, I told you that my quarterback, Davidson, that would be my favorite guy in the Shrine. I love the D tackle from Arkansas. What was his name? He's got that funky name. Let me tell you. The guy I had a couple guys from the East West Shrine Game that I liked. Let me see here, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Where are you, Arkansas boy? Where is he?
Is he on the North schedule? You know how they sometimes mess around and put this kid over here and that guy's over here.
Yeah, like UM. They had him on
the North
on the North team in the Senior Bowl. Where's the Arkansas? Oh, here he is. McTelvin Agim. I always forget his name, man. I like that kid. McTelvin Agim. I liked Alex Highsmith from Charlotte. I thought he did a nice job also. The Northwestern kid, Joe Gaziano, was also a kid that I liked. Darrell Williams, I thought he did all right as a center. He might be a late-round project that you take. Loved Tavian Feaster from South Carolina, the running back. I thought he did a really, really nice job. Aaron Parker from Rhode Island, the wide receiver, I thought was really, really good. There were a couple guys that I liked in this game. Who else? Tony Jones. He had a great week from Notre Dame. I thought he did a really nice job overall. Let me see what else. There were a couple guys that I liked. I like the FIU kid, by the way, James Morgan, too. Another late round guy that I would take as a project guy. That would be another guy. There you go. There were a couple guys from the East-West that I liked. Senior Bowl-wise, I'll give you a couple of players that I have. Let me see where my Senior Bowl notes are. I'll find those for you from the Senior Bowl, but those are some from the East-West that I did like. What else do we have here on the accidentlawfirm.com text line? Or remember to give us the thumbs up while you're watching the broadcast. We always appreciate you giving us thumbs up there on the broadcast, as always. Let me see what the poll question and where we're at right now. Oh, we need a break is where we're at. But let's give you the total on the poll question right now. TMZ broke the story of Kobe Bryant yesterday passing away in the helicopter crash. So we ask you out there, okay, what are your thoughts on it? And you only have two answers. One, it's their job, no problem, and it's wrong. Right now, 75% say it's wrong. 25% say it's their job, no problem. You can go to our Twitter page at Big O Show so you can put in your vote there. All right, let's do this. We got Bill driving the program. Kobe Price is going to join us at 2 o'clock. We're going to come back on the other side. We'll get into a little Heat talk. I want to get into progress for somebody and the Miami Heat. We'll get into a little bit more Kobe talk. We've got some football conversation. Something really classy happened over the weekend. I didn't see it personally, but I read about it because, I don't really watch the Pro Bowl. Come on, man. It's the Pro Bowl. I don't watch the NHL All-Star Game. Don't watch the Pro Bowl. I told you that yesterday. I can't do it. Baseball All-Star is the only game I watch. I really do. And we had the Panthers there at the All-Star Game, but I just had no interest, man. But something really classy happened in the Pro Bowl, and I want to talk about that. I think it's really cool. Plus, there might be more to that story because that is something that might be leading to something else. So I want to get into that. Got a couple of music notes also I want to share with you in this 1 o'clock hour. Let's take a break. We got 2 hours down already. We got 2 more to go right here on the Big O Show.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodsey can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All right, we are back.
This is the Big O Show.
We take you, of course, till 3 o'clock, and we appreciate all of you for tuning in and supporting the show every single day. And obviously, it's a tough day for everybody. It's a tough day for sports fans everywhere. This isn't an easy show for any of us to do, obviously, because it's so hard to go into other directions. You don't want to sound like you're insensitive in any way, shape, or form, and I'm far from that. Obviously, I mean, hell, the first 2 hours have been pretty much dedicated all to Kobe. So we've done our best that we can on this program to address it, and we've got a couple of other things that I definitely want to talk about. Basketball-wise, staying in that ballpark. We're going to have Kobe Price joining us at the top of the hour. He had an interesting article about Dion Waiters, who apparently apologized yesterday. Which, yeah, I just said that. Dion Waiters apologized. Think about that. Dion Waiters took accountability for something. So the Heat tonight will take on the Magic at 7:30. This is a game that, right? I mean, Heat Magic, you're like, okay, I know the Heat are better, but that means nothing whatsoever, right? It doesn't matter if the Heat have the big three, okay? I don't care who they have. You can't underestimate this game. This is one of those games that we've gotten to the point now that it gets our attention, right? You play the Cavs, and you're like, yeah, they're playing the Cavs tonight, and you might be like on your phone half the time and kind of half-assed paying attention to the game. You might be talking to your wife or whatever, girlfriend, friends, whatever, and half-assed pay attention to the game. Even if you have a couple guys over, you're BSing, probably talking more Kobe throughout the night than even watching the game, right? Lakers come to town. The Bucks come to town. Whatever, pick a quality team. Comes to town. There's less talking in the room. You're watching the game, right? There's a lot more concern. You're watching the game. Because when you're watching the Cavs, not a concern. You're talking with your friends, your family members. You're casually watching, not a concern, right? Big games, concern. This game, not considered big, because Miami-Orlando is not a marquee matchup. But, man, it's a marquee of a pain in the ass, is what it is. That's what this matchup is between the Heat and the Magic. A major pain in the ass. You know it. I know it. The Heat knows it. The coaches know it. The players know it. I mean, come on. You don't think that Spo reminds them? This is what we did in 14. This is what we did in 15 again. This is what we did in 16. This is what we did in 17. I mean, these guys are a pain in our ass. Do you guys get it? It doesn't matter where the names change in the faces. They are a pain in our ass. It doesn't matter if half their team is out. They are a pain in our ass. So this is a game that, I kind of sit there frustrated right from the get-go. Don't you? Admit it. Come on, you sit right from the beginning of the Heat Magic game already pissed off. Do you know why? Because you know you've lost to them already several times when you shouldn't. And you're like, man, this better not happen again. Okay? And that's me, not my Invisaligns allowing me not to talk, okay? That's the beauty of these Invisaligns. It doesn't affect you at all. But seriously, it's amazing. This is a game you come in pissed off. I at least I do. I don't know about you guys, but I come into this game pissed off. It's years of being pissed off. Tyler Hero may not be as pissed off as I am, but I can guarantee a lot of Heat fans are doing it. Tell me, now that I brought that up, Bill, don't you come into a Magic game already pissed off?
There's just this uneasy feeling.
Right? Right?
Indiana's a thorn in our side. We know they're a good team.
Yeah, but that's a good
Orlando is the bottom of the barrel.
Well, not really. They're middle.
Usually.
They're not anymore. The last couple of years. Let's give them
No,
love.
they're moving in the right direction.
They were in the playoffs last year and in the playoffs this year. Right now, they're a bottom ringer playoff team. But you're still better than them, is my point.
Right now, yes.
Yeah. You
are.
can make a case for Indiana, and you can make a case for Houston and Milwaukee and the Lakers and any other good team that comes into town. You can say they're either as good or better than the Heat. So if they lose to them, okay, you lose to these guys, you are walking to the cabinet and grabbing Alka-Seltzer. You lose to these guys, and you're, honey, where's the chiropectate? You lose to the Magic, and it's a freaking Maylocks moment. That's the thing. You lose to the Magic. The next day, you're talking with your buds like, what the F, man? What is it about this team? We know they're better, but yet they keep losing to these guys. What the hell is going on? That's what happens to you in a Magic game. It's crazy, isn't it? Nuts. I just, please, get over this hump. Spank this team and send them home. That's all I want. Just take care of business against the damn Magic. Please. Just a little bit. That's all I'm asking. I don't think I'm asking for too much. And let me tell you something. You go to Toyota of Hollywood, they're not going to ask for a lot. No. That's the number one volume Toyota dealership in the Southeast United States. They've got all kinds of great programs right now, 0% financing for 72 months. They'll make your payments until 2021. They've got over 1,500 cars and trucks for you to choose from. And let me tell you, having a large selection is awesome because you get to pick the car you want, the color you want, the model you want, the style you want, but more importantly, the price you want. So get on down there, baby. Go see Steve Ostrov. Go see Herbie Lopez. Go see Eddie. Go see all the great people out there, man. They will take care of you at Toyota of Hollywood. I promise you. And it's at 1841 North State Road 7. And make sure you mention our show. Please. Make sure you mention our show. Got to have that. It's got to be part of the whole mix. So the other night, Dion Waiters made his debut after 3 suspensions, $1.4 million less in his bank account, all kinds of stupid-ass stuff that he said, including that Spo can't coach, things like that. So he made his debut. He had a decent night, shot 5 of 9 from three-point range, which is excellent. Didn't shoot well overall. But, he had a couple blocks and stuff, so, he did a nice job. For his first outing, he did a good job. So now comes the next step. And now comes the opportunities to get in front of the media, talk, get yourself prepared for possibly other games. Remember, Butler is dealing with the ankle injury. He's questionable for tonight. Goran's got that left calf bruise. And Nunn has got the bilateral Achilles injury. All right? These are all things that we're all concerned about. So that means that Dion Waiters could be playing again tonight against the Magic. So Dion Waiters spoke with the media for the first time. And he says, I'm a grown man. I don't point fingers. I could easily say this and that, but at the end of the day, it's me, Waiters said. I made immature decisions. So, I take full responsibility. How about that? How about Dion Waiters? It's a little bit of a golf clap, but, I got to give him a little bit of a clap at least. And he goes on to say, there's so many, Eric says, there's so many moving parts right now. You just want everybody to put in the time behind the scenes and get into healthy head space where you can contribute when your number is called, and he did that. He still has a ways to go with his conditioning, particularly game conditioning. That's to be expected, but he's a gamer, okay? So he goes on to say, Jimmy Butler says, I'm happy for him. I'm very happy for him. He's working. He's ready to go out there and hoop, and that's all what we were saying. Just stay ready. Now it's all about trying to stack up however many good days you can. And, Dion goes on to say, look, I'm not going to lie to you, man. My kids, my family, my support system is so strong. I've got a lot of good people in my life. You find that out when you go through them times. This is the first time I've been through something like this in my life. I don't feel like I lost anything besides my money. All right? So now it's up to Dion Waiters to prove that he really is, moving on. And listen, he's still sounding like it. He says, I really didn't process it right away, Waiters said of Spoelstra's call. I really didn't take it in. I didn't tell anybody I was playing. I called my mom and told my girl I wasn't happy until it happened. Going into it, I didn't know how long or anything like that. He asked me if I was ready. I just grinned and said, yeah. That's how it went. And so he goes, I have a lot of good people in my life. And you find that out when you go through these times. Says going through this, I was going through that and being able to just stay me, stay sane. It taught me a lot about myself. I knew I was mentally tough because of my upbringing, but that's right there. It's going to try you and test you. I didn't let it deter me from the most important stuff, and that's being a father every day, no matter what I'm going through. My kids kept me sane, my family, my girl, my things like that. We got it. We got through it together. That's the blessing. Now we'll see if he can actually maintain this, because he's had his moments of being a knucklehead. And are you going to continue to be a knucklehead, or are you going to finally grow up and move on and be a professional? I mean, look at what James Johnson did. A pro, and he's back on the court. Said, if I put myself in a position where I stay ready and I don't have to get ready, just being that pro, make sure I'm there for my teammates, I'll be fine whatever happens, Waiters said. Of course, I'd like to play, but that's not under my control. We got a lot of guys around here that work hard, and that's only going to push you. They did a great job out there finding ways to win, staying together, sharing the ball, and it looked good. Anytime you got a team like that, you're itching to get out there. But at the same time, it's going to take time. You know what I like about that statement there from Dion is that he talked about the patience. And because he put himself into a hole, he had to be patient. And he had to work out of it the right way, the Heat way. And if he doesn't do it the Heat way, he's not going to do it at all. And that's the one thing. Now, that's the whole thing. Are these words, or are these going to be actions? Is he going to live up to what he's talking about right now? Is the question. That's what that's what we're going to figure out now over the next couple of weeks. And look, I told you guys this. If he's smart, he screws his head on, he stays shut, he becomes a team player, he gets playing time, because eventually guys get injured, man, and especially Goran. I mean, that guy can't stay healthy ever anymore. So you know you're going to get playing time, and now Kendrick Nunn, God forbid this Achilles injury is anything serious. But as Will Carroll said, hey, whenever it's an Achilles, you got to take it serious. So all of this, we've got to wait and see. But he's going to have opportunities. And if you straighten your crap out, Dion, and you're a good soldier from here on out all the way through the playoffs, and you go into the offseason, maybe somebody says, hey, you know what? We can trade for him. He's in his final year. He might be able to help us. And you know what? It's an expiring contract, worst case scenario. And maybe Miami can move you to somewhere where you get more of an opportunity and they get something in return. Even if it's only a second rounder and some backup player or something. Who cares? But for you, if you want opportunity so you can build on and get another contract, because Dion, dude, that's what you should be working on. Don't be an idiot from here on out, because then all you're going to do is play out this contract and not make any more money and make NBA minimum the following time around if somebody signs you. Because if you continue down the knucklehead path, they won't even want you at the NBA minimum because they won't want the headaches. So don't be a headache from here on out. How about that? Wow, what a concept. You know? So that's that's the part that is, you know, kind of screwed up. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the program. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, of course, which is always open to you whenever you're listening to the show, all right, watching the show, and we get you to think, laugh, pissed off, angry, you know, you want to insult me, whatever, send it in. And if you actually even have a compliment for us because we actually did something right, which I know it's rare that we do anything right around here, but once in a blue moon, if we get something right and you want to compliment us about it, you can also do that. We'll accept some compliments at 786-322-1105 and on Twitter at Big O Show. Right now, it's 74% of you say, what are your thoughts on TMZ breaking the Kobe Bryant story before the family was told? Go to our Twitter page at Big O Show and vote. 74% say it's wrong. 26% say it's their job. No problem. All right? Give us your vote there. And we will continue to track it. Let me see what we got here on the YouTube chat board. Let's see. Brandon Flood says, same story with the Magic and the Wizards. Hawks too. Yeah. No, it's frustrating, but the Magic for me more than any of those other teams. Hawks or Wizards, I think they beat those teams more often. They lose way too much to the Magic. Way too much. To the point that it's freaking annoying how much they lose to the Magic. It really is. But we'll see. And I like what Dion had to say. Now we take a wait-and-see approach and see if he actually means it. That would be really, really cool to find that out. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show, of course. Follow us there. I'm trying to see if there's any new developments in the Kobe Bryant car accident. helicopter accident. And so far, I am not seeing anything else new here. They have not released also the identity of the pilots and the 2 other victims that were lost in this tragedy. And again, that's the part that personally for me, that's the part that bothers me as a father, is that you lost a couple of kids here. That kills you, man. Tiger Woods found out from his caddy walking off the course, and then he addressed the media right after he was told from his caddy that Kobe had passed away.
It's a shocker to everyone. Unbelievably sad, and one of the more tragic days that I think, well, for me, the reality is just kind of sitting in because I was just told Carlo about 5 minutes ago.
What will you remember most about him as a player, but most importantly as a man and father?
The fire. He burned so competitively hot, and desire to win. He brought it each and every night.
And I think that's something he got from Michael, because Michael had that same kind of fire. Not everybody plays like that, man. Not everybody has that burning desire like he does, that he was a crazed maniac in wanting to win at all costs. And I'll tell you, guys, Brady has that in him. There's certain guys, you see it, that they just are. I think Giannis has it. You can tell that he's one of those competitors. Russell Wilson, Drew Brees. These kind of cats that just, man, they face all kinds of odds, and they just think about overcoming these kind of odds. And that's what that dude had. That dude was wired that way. And listen, when he first got into the league, we thought he was copying everything that Jordan was doing in a way, right? And that's kind of that whole, that whole dog mentality that he had about the game. And that came a lot from watching Jordan, who was also a crazed maniac to a point that he punched Steve Kerr in a practice once. And you got to be pretty intense to be punching your teammate in practice. You got to be pretty unhappy with your own teammate when you want to punch him. And mind you, it's Steve Kerr. It doesn't look like Steve Kerr would be the guy that's a real problem in practice. You know what I'm saying? I get it if you had to get into it with Whiteside. Whiteside's the kind of guy that everybody in the team wanted to punch him, probably. He's lucky he's in this era. Can you imagine? Michael Jordan would have kicked his ass, not punched him. He would have pounded the crap out of Whiteside. In fact, Whiteside doesn't last 5 minutes on a Michael Jordan team. Are you kidding me? He looks at Phil Jackson and says, "Get this guy out of here. Get this clown out of here." And there's Whiteside talking to his fish. Huh? You're cutting me? Yeah, that's probably what it would be. But, yeah, how about that with Tiger? I mean, it affected everyone. It's amazing. You know who kind of was like that too? Was Doc Rivers. I mean, Doc Rivers. Was John Lennon. When John Lennon passed, he wasn't just a rocker, because he had also transcended too. You know, he was a philanthropist, he was a political activist, he was all kinds of things, and he meant more to people than just a Beatle. And when he passed away, it kind of seemed also like reality stood still for a moment. You know? You had to live it to kind of experience it. Elvis, kind of the same thing. You know, there were certain people like that we've had throughout our lives that they just seem to touch a lot of people in so many different ways outside of just what they do. Lennon was that guy that he touched a lot of people outside of his music. Kobe was the same way. Outside of his play, touched people in so many different ways. And that's why you see the reactions. With John Lennon was the same way, man. Whether it was an actor, whether it was a musician, whether it was an athlete, or whether it was Howard Cosell, with emotion behind his voice telling you about John Lennon being shot. He didn't just say it in passing. You can tell with the way that Cosell delivered it, man, you knew that, it was one of those things that, okay, he knew exactly who had passed away and what he had meant. It was one of those deals with Cosell. So that's the one thing that I walked away with, that it just, transcends. This is a guy that affected a lot of people in so many different ways. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105 on Twitter at Big O Show. Vote there on Twitter. Our poll question, did TMZ do the right thing by breaking the Kobe Bryant death before the family was notified? You have two answers there. Yes, no problem. It's their job, or it's wrong. Pretty simple. Go to our Twitter page at Big O Show. Let's take a quick break. Back with more right here on the Big O Show.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SCT, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodsey can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
I want to come back.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty. Welcome back. We are ready. Andrew Berry is the new Browns GM. Is that what I see there? Wow. All right. That's an interesting one. The Browns have landed their new general manager, Mary Kay Cabot, is reporting Monday that the Browns are hiring Andrew Berry to fill the spot opened when John Dorsey was fired at the end of the 2019 season. 5-year deal is expected to be announced this afternoon. Berry is set to have an executive vice president title as well. Spent last season as vice president of football operations for the Eagles. He was the vice president of player personnel for the Browns from 16 to 18, so he'll be reunited with many familiar faces once he's formally installed in his new job. The Browns also interviewed Vikings GM George Patton twice about the vacancy, but Patton pulled his name out earlier this week. That left many with the impression that Berry was likely the choice. The feeling now is proven correct. So there you go. Nice job for Andrew Berry. He gets the opportunity. I was wondering if he would ever get an opportunity, but you always wonder about the minorities, right? Because it's like they never really get a fair shake as it is. So, and when they do get an opportunity, they actually don't get the real opportunity. They kind of get like a really short leash, and then they eliminate your ass. You know what I'm saying? Ex-Jaguar safety Donovan Darius is arrested and hospitalized. Donovan Darius was arrested and charged with driving under the influence on Sunday, according to Mike DiRocco. And Darius, 44, was then taken to the Jacksonville Hospital for mental health evaluation after telling rescue workers he had ingested 20 to 30 pills and that he was suicidal. Police and rescue units responded to a vehicle crash at 10 a.m. on Sunday and found Darius disoriented in the driver's seat of his car. He was placed in an ambulance. That's when he told rescue workers that he had taken the pills. Police found 2 pill bottles in Darius's car, but were unable to conduct a field sobriety test because Darius was unable to stand on his own and had very slurred speech. He was hospitalized under the Florida Mental Health Act of 71, which allows involuntary institutionalized examination of an individual for up to 72 hours if that individual is suspected of having mental illness or is in danger of harming themselves or others, commonly called the Baker Act. It can be initiated by judges, law enforcement officials, physicians, or mental health professionals. And Darius was an absentee booked into jail and charged with misdemeanor DUI No court date has been set. Just get help. Get help, folks, because that's what he needs in a big-time way. Wow. All right. So you've got some of that. Let's see. What else do we have here also? Those are some of the very interesting notes in pro football, by the way. The NFLPA also leaders have scheduled an important meeting Thursday morning with the Board of Players' representatives to discuss the status of the collective bargaining talks and get the board's input on how to proceed, according to Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero. And it's a significant step after months of formal and informal bargaining sessions between the union and the NFL, which continues to push for the option of expanding the regular season to 17 games as part of next year's TV deals and a condition of increasing players' share of revenue and other issues. The current collective bargaining agreement is set to expire in 2021, and both sides want to avoid a work stoppage, although most people feel like it's the inevitable, and that's what's going to end up happening when it's all said and done. We'll see. We'll see what happens in that case. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can do it at 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. You can also reach out on Twitter at Big O Show. Many ways to reach out to us here on the program so you can stay in touch with all of us. What else do we have here? No, I'm not seeing any kind of developments in the Kobe Bryant. And here's the one thing in this development with Kobe. What are we looking for? Are we dying to point fingers? Are we just dying to? I almost feel like people are dying for this investigation to get going so we can blame Kobe for not having a proper helicopter, or that the pilot didn't do this, or that the airport and the officials were wrong for giving him clearance to fly when authorities were benching or not benching, grounding their copters. I almost feel like we're dying to blame somebody already. It's really weird. I just get that feeling like people are clamoring for it. And I think it's kind of a second nature thing, right? Because a buddy of mine, I'm talking to him yesterday. Actually, we're texting back and forth. And I believe the helicopter is like a 1989 or something like that. And my buddy goes, well, why is that helicopter so old? And I go to him, brother, I'm not a helicopter expert. Maybe he's changed the engine, and that doesn't matter because I grew up with a trucker in my dad who had hundreds of trucks in his lifetime, and I grew around truckers. And one of the things that I realize about they'll keep their trucks for a long, long time. They'll change engines and transmissions, and the truck will be just fine. It'll last forever. So I don't know how long you go with a helicopter or an airplane. I have no idea. I don't know what the standard amount of years is of wear and tear or whatever, or if you're able to maintain it and upbring it and all that. And that's what I told my buddy. I go, dude, I'm not an expert on this. I have no idea if that was a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if he's kept it up. Kobe's got money. Maybe he's made the proper changes to keep it running smooth with no problem. And apparently he uses it all the freaking time. I mean, what are you going to do? When it's your time, it's your time. And no matter what, you're not going to do anything about it. But I almost feel like a lot of people are just waiting to get some information to point fingers at somebody. Because that's how they're going to feel better about this. And I don't know how you're going to ever feel better about this at all, in any way, shape, or form. If Kobe did not keep up maintenance, if it was a fluke accident, if the FAA made a mistake in letting them fly, if the pilot made a mistake, if whatever you can find. It doesn't bring Aaliyah back. It doesn't bring Lisa Left Eye Lopes back. It doesn't bring back Valens, Richie Valens. It doesn't bring back Leonard Skinnard. I mean, I could just go on and on and on and on. It doesn't bring back Doc Holliday. Lots of people have passed away in these kind of accidents. And what are we going to do? We're going to start pointing fingers? Is that really what it's all about?
If the National Transportation Board finds somebody was negligent, there will be criminal charges.
I get it, but not going to do anything. It's not going to help.
It's not going to bring them back.
Doesn't do anything.
No.
Doesn't do anything for any of us. I know they put too many luggages in Aaliyah's plane, right? I think that's why it went down or something. Too much weight. Because they were dying to get back or whatever it was. It's not going to bring Aaliyah back, man. We can point fingers and we can lay, but that's what I almost feel like the people that are clamoring to find out, it's because they're dying to point a finger at somebody. And God forbid that it's Kobe forgot a maintenance. Now people's, well, it's Kobe's own fault. He didn't, and so they'll feel better about it. Like, oh, well, it was his fault. I'm moving on. One of those kind of deals. I almost feel like that. That's what some people are just waiting for. To pounce. And at this point, it's not about that, man. It's about grieving. It's about supporting. It's about understanding. There are so many lives that are just absolutely wrecked after yesterday. The pilot's family, the coach's family, the kids, the Kobe, the basketball world, the Laker nation. I mean, this has affected so many people. There are 9 people that died, and all their extended families are crushed. That's what we got to do, is find a way to support those people. Find a way to comfort them. That's what they need. Vanessa needs privacy now. She needs understanding. She needs support. It's not about hey, let's find out who's at fault here and let's just go after them. The tragedy's done. Unless this is an act of terror, that's the only thing that could get me livid. Outside of that, there was some kind of human error, some kind of a mechanical flaw, and guess what? Human error is normal. Mechanical flaws happen. Those are things that, like I said before, when it's your time, it's your time. And you're just not going to do anything about it. But there is a part of me that there's like a piranha-like attitude waiting for the other shoe to fall on this one. I just kind of what I see. That's all. 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can always reach out to us there. Also on YouTube, remember to give us the thumbs up when you're watching the YouTube broadcast. We always appreciate that, ladies and gentlemen, for helping us out and support. And by the way, we are 18 subscribers away from 1,000. How about that? We have climbed quickly to already 982 subscribers. So nice job by all of you out there. Just started this, kind of pushing this thing a couple months ago. So thank you very much. We're almost there. Almost. I know it's not a super important measurement of a QB, but did you hear an expected 40 time for Jordan Love or for Justin Herbert? Help me win a bet, Big O. Thanks. Brother, you'll get that at the Combine. Next month, you'll get your bet. That's when you do it. They don't do the 40s now in the Senior Bowl, my friend. The underwear Olympics happen over at the Combine. So you and your buddy will have to wait to get an official time. You'll have to wait till the Combine. Okay? That's all I can tell you, man. I'm sorry to disappoint the hell out of you on that one, but nobody has their official 40 times because they don't exist. Everything that's out there is bogus, created, something that happened last year or 2 years ago or 3 years ago in some field, and some PR guy for their schools put it up. Nothing official. You want official? It'll be in late February in Indianapolis. That's when you'll get your official 40 times between those guys. And yes, it's not important whatsoever. It means nothing, the 40 time. That's funny. That's really funny. Hey, did you hear about Sammy Hagar, Whitesnake, and Night Ranger coming? So for those of you that don't know, Sammy Hagar and the Circle, they're coming along with Whitesnake and Night Ranger. That's going to be a fun concert. You're going to that one, right? I want to go to that one. Tickets, by the way, go on sale the 31st, which means you got 4 days. At 10 a.m., they will go on sale. And they are coming to South Florida. July 9th, they will be coming to the I Think Financial Amphitheater. Do you know what the I Think Financial Amphitheater is, Mr. Bill Preston? Huh? Do you know? Do you know what the I Think Financial Amphitheater is? Have you ever heard of it? That's the Cruzan, the Sony, the Coral Sky. What else? Help me out. It's had Cruzan, Sony,
Vodka.
Perfect Vodka. I wrote those down. I wrote those 4 down.
That's
I wrote
as proud
Sony,
as-
Cruzan, Perfect Vodka, and Coral Sky. But I know I'm missing one. I know it was Sony. I remember Cruzan, Perfect Vodka, and Coral. It always goes back to Coral Sky when they lose the sponsor. They go back to Coral Sky. Sound Advice. I knew I was missing one. It was a Sound Advice Amphitheater. And there's another one too, I think. There might be even one more. Help me out there. Is this it? The history of the Coral Sky. It's Coral Sky, Perfect Vodka, Cruzan, Sony, Sound Advice, and now I Think Financial Amphitheater. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different names. Okay? Is there another name we're missing? There's got to be one more, right? Just seems like there's another one. But anyway, and for those of you that listen, because, we got listeners all over the world now, which is freaking amazing. But for my friends right across the state in Tampa, July 11th, they will be at the Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater for that one. Looking forward to that show. I just hope that David Coverdale he did not sound good the last time I saw him. So I'm wondering, did David Coverdale lose his fastball? Or was he sick that night? I know Jack Blades, and I'm forgetting the drummer, because, the drummer sings Sing Me Away and Sister Christian. He sounds great still, and so does Jack Blades. And I know for a fact that Sammy Hagar still sounds great, so I'm good. 2 of the 3 bands I know their singers are going to sound good. David Coverdale, I just want to warn you, because the last time I saw David, he sounded terrible. It was really, really bad. He needed the backup singers to really carry his ass. He could not do any of the screeching anymore. Now, again, he might have been sick that day. I'm not sure. If any of you actually know why, pass it on. Tell me here on the YouTube chat board or on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105, or on Twitter at Big O Show. If you want to reach out to us also on Twitter, that's another way that you can always reach out to us. Let me see what we got here. Yes, I know they run at the combine, but sometimes they have times coming out of spring at their school. Thanks anyways. Don't go with that. They lie about their height. They lie. No, don't ever. That's not a bet you want. You don't know. That's not official. You got to wait till the combine. Do not do that stuff. Okay? All the stuff that's in those media guides is bogus. If they're really fat, they lie about their weight. If they're shorter than what they really are, they lie about the height. And if they ran a 4.4, they'll make it sound like a 4.35. And if he ran a 4.35, they'll say, well, it's a 4.29. Or something like that. You cannot believe any of that. So I'm just saying. Mal from Virginia says, if Chiefs lose the Super Bowl, could Mahomes become the generation's Dan Marino by making it to the Super Bowl early in his career once, but never returning again? Yeah, sure, if that's the case. But Mal, dude, you're getting ahead of yourself. You already have the kid losing and never going back to a Super Bowl. You are one cruel sumbitch. Holy moly. Really? Are you going to do that to the poor kid? Come on, man. Don't wish that on him. Now, if he doesn't go to the Super Bowl next year and the year after that and the year after that because the Miami Dolphins are in it every year, well, now that's a whole different ballgame now. Now, Mal, we're talking some good stuff there. Okay? Can you get me and the Dolphins into the Super Bowl every year? I know eventually they're going to win some. Yeah. That's the only way it becomes acceptable. If it's my beloved Dolphins making the Super Bowl every year, screwing over Mahomes and everybody else in the AFC, including the Patriots. Yeah. Yeah. I'll take that one. Give me that one, baby. You guys out there, you good with that? Dolphins making the Super Bowl every year? I would love that. I won't get tired of that. I'm watching the damn Patriots. I'm getting tired of them going all the time. It's our damn turn. Oh, I think it was once called the Antonio Brown Bowling and Bath Salts Houses of Horror. Nice, Dougie Fresh. Nice one. I like it. No, but I'm wondering, I wonder if they have another one. I know people are Googling right now, trying to see if there's an old name that we forgot. But I think we've nailed them all. I had forgotten Sound Advice. That's the one that I needed that I forgot. Sony, Cruzan, Perfect Vodka, Coral Sky, Sound Advice, and now the I Think Financial Amphitheater. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's one we forgot. You know? And have any of these, none of them have lasted, right? It's usually like maybe 2 years, 3 years, no more than that on average, and then they're gone. It's crazy, too, because it's a pretty popular amphitheater. It has a lot of action that goes with it. And yet, I don't know, are they charging too much? You may want to charge a little less so you can keep the continuity going and then keep the same. That way you don't go back to Coral Sky and you're not making any money for a while. You know, I think that's what they're doing at the AAA right now. I think American Airlines Arena is not paying jack right now. I think so. I think right now the AAA is being called the AAA because they haven't sealed the deal with a new sponsor, so they don't want to go and call it, change everything to whatever, Miami Arena again or whatever you want to call it, and then add a sponsor and then change everything again. So that's double. So just keep it AAA until you get the new sponsor. Interesting. So there you go. But if there's one I'm missing, tell me. Because I think we've got all six. But who knows? Maybe we're off. All right, Kobe Price from the South Florida Sun Sentinel is going to join us next. Dion Waiters has come clean. He's admitted his faults. He's showing maturity. He's freaking me out. Kobe Price covers the Crazy One and the Miami Heat for the South Florida Sun Sentinel. We talk to Kobe next.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodsey can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right, we are back. I promised you Kobe Price will be joining us from the South Florida Sun Sentinel. I thought he had a really interesting article today talking about Dion Waiters. And, of course, you can follow my man on Twitter at Kobe_P, like I and so many others do, and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel, covering a little Heat, covering a little Inter Miami, and, of course, FAU football. In other words, he does it all, bro. That's what he is. He's like Saguafair. He's everywhere. That's what it's all about. Kobe, how you doing, baby?
Considering everything that's been happening, I'm doing well for myself. Doing pretty well.
So let me ask you, because this is a tough day for all of us. For me, this is like a really awkward day to do radio. It's just so tough. And when you have to talk about other subjects, and we've kind of not really, we've stayed on Kobe most of the time, but we have had a couple of things like what we're going to do here. But before I get into that, what did Kobe mean to you, man? You tell me.
Kobe was one. I was born in '96. I was born a few months after Kobe Bryant was actually drafted in the NBA. He was drafted by Charlotte and traded to the Lakers. So for me, I know a lot of people in my generation will say we never really got to see Michael Jordan consistently or on that level. By the time I can remember, Michael Jordan was on the Wizards, and that's clearly not the Michael Jordan most people remember. So to me, Kobe Bryant was that iconic figure who always felt like he was celebrated in basketball, but he was just more than a basketball player to me and many people in my generation and around the world. He was a figure that represented resiliency, represented hard work, represented greatness, represented excellence, and he was very much that. And he was a motivational and inspirational person. No matter what, you could ask yourself, what would Kobe say or what would Kobe do in a situation? And that was something that could uplift you in a day, get you through a challenge, whether it's not just in sports and basketball, but other sports, through school, through work. Honestly, it's simply making the best of the situation and powering through and getting excellence out of yourself every single moment of every single day. And that's what Kobe Bryant meant to me. I think that's his long-lasting legacy. And he did it outside of basketball. Whether it was getting his Oscar for a short film or even his book, that was what Kobe Bryant to me meant. It was more than just basketball.
Yeah.
It was the excellence that he brought to everyday life.
I'm with you there. There's no doubt about that. So let me ask you, I know that you've been covering the Heat too, and they're playing the Magic tonight. Have you heard anything on what the Heat is going to do? Because I guarantee you they're going to do something to honor Kobe, because that's what Riley does. He does these kind of things. They're very conscious about all this kind of stuff.
No, I haven't actually heard anything. The team made statements yesterday. By the time that the news broke out, we were at practice yesterday, but by the time news broke out, we had left. Unfortunately, however you want to say it. But yeah, everybody had left, and it seemed like everything was going to be broken up. And then when we were working in the media room, that's when I found out the news, and I was like, man, this is unreal. But I've heard nothing about what they plan on doing tonight. Yesterday, multiple teams paid tribute to Kobe, whether it's a moment of silence or dribbling out the shot clock to start the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I would expect the Heat to do something. What it's going to be, I'm not entirely sure. We'll see tonight, but they're going to do something, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt that they will plan on something. I mean, hell, you saw Mark Cuban come out and say nobody's going to wear 24 again, even though he didn't play for our organization, which is just absolutely amazing. That stuff like that would come out already. But I'm not surprised. That's the kind of impact that this guy had on this sport and so many other people, because he was always so willing to give back now. And that's the one thing about Kobe. Watching him mature is something that's been an absolute treat to see him grow up. Now, question is, did you witness somebody growing up a little bit for the Miami Heat in Dion Waiters? Because Kobe, this is a guy that just seems like he's unreachable. He's kind of a knucklehead. He kind of is just into himself. And, we read your quotes on your story on the air, and it sounded like a guy that, I don't know, is he understanding of where he's at and what he needs to do? Is Dion Waiters growing up? Are you buying it or are you selling it?
I'm buying it. I'm buying it because when you go through, I'm not sure what more it would take for him to understand the magnitude of everything that happened. I think it would be different if we spoke to him back in maybe December or November or even October when he was all going through this. But, I mean, he's had time to reflect. He's had time to think about it, speak with his family, speak with the Heat, speak with team officials, speak with the ones that are closest to him. So I am buying at least that he's had time to reflect, and he is just taking responsibilities up front. We were not able to speak to him about every single instance we got cut off. Our time got cut off with our interview with him. However, it did seem like he was sincere in the most Dion way when addressing everything. It felt very Dion. It wasn't some the Heat threw him out there and said, "You're going to say this, that, or the other." It felt very Deion and everything that he was saying.
Well, you're not throwing that guy out there to say whatever. You're not going to tell that guy's not going to do that anyway if you know him. So that's why I asked, because this had to have come from him. Now the question is this really what he believes? Is this really what he's going to do? Is he going to follow, the right footsteps and wait for his opportunity? Because, hey, Kobe, let's be honest, dude. Those opportunities are going to come. Guys get injured, especially Goran Dragic. He cannot stay healthy. His body, is just breaking down before our eyes.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Even when he was so upset earlier seemed like he was so upset about his playing time. It was like, time early in the season, there were still ample playing time to go around because, like you said, guys get injured. I mean, Justice Winslow's been out more than he's been present or been active. Jimmy Butler gets banged up every 10 or so games. Goran Dragic's been out. Kendrick Nunn has this Achilles problem now, or a sore Achilles. So if anything, there's been guys in the backcourt, the guards, the wing rotation that's really been hurting throughout the season. So there's been an ample amount of time, and I think he can see that. He can see that, man, there's been so many opportunities that if I was on my best behavior or if I'd done things right, I would have played. Or this team's doing so well without me, so it's not like they truly, they got into this record without me. They don't truly need me to succeed. So that's almost an ego check in your mind.
Which one of those quotes, Kobe, got you and you say, okay, you're buying it? Because he said a couple of things out there where you had to say, okay, this is the most maturity I've ever seen from Deion in this process, or since he's been here with the Miami Heat, or maybe in his entire career. What part of yesterday's interview really got you?
The part that I will continue to always remember was when he was talking about how he has the people in his life and that helps him get through everything, the family support. He said it's an experience and a learning lesson at the end of the day. I didn't feel like I lost anything besides my money. It'll come back around. That wasn't really showing the maturity. That was just something funny that I found, because it was like, yeah, you lost a lot of money by everything that happened, all these suspensions. But I think the first quote was like, at the end of the day, I'm a grown man. I don't point fingers. And he said himself, he could easily say this or that, but at the end of the day, it's him. He made certain decisions. He has to take responsibility for them. He acknowledged himself that it's not like this is something that broke him. This isn't something that shattered his life or shattered him as a person, but he acknowledged it was his fault, and he moved past it and he looked forward. And at the end of the day, I mean, I think that it's believable to me because the Heat are still supporting him. Eric Spoelstra didn't have to play him on Friday against the Clippers. They could have simply gone with a short rotation. They could have gone with a small rotation and just let it be that. They don't, as we see, the Heat aren't in a position where they truly need to put Deion out there over and over or throughout games to be successful. No. Granted, they still lost that game. However, throughout the season, they don't need to. So the fact that they're still supporting him and they're still putting those opportunities in front of him just says to me, they must believe in him, because if not, they could have just said, look, we're going to pay you, we're going to do whatever, but just stay home because we don't need you around here.
Kobe, what do you think his relationship is with Spo? Because obviously Spo has had to take the higher road and forget about his comments that, he can't coach, anybody can coach the big three and all that stuff. That was pretty insulting and ignorant, too, on top of all of that, because I think anybody with some common sense knows Spo is one freaking hell of a coach as it is. So I'm wondering, and I guess you just said the interview was cut short, and I'm sure that question would have come up, or did it come up? Did anybody get to ask him where his relationship is with Spo? Because I know you guys talked about how he asked him and how he responded, but did you get more into it?
No, yeah, we were talking about it afterwards. Some of the reporters that was one of the questions that we would have asked, or along those lines. His reaction or his comments now, and the comments that he made about Spo, that the social media comments, all the incidents, all those things we weren't really able to get into, because when we wanted to get into it, that's when we were cut off. But his relationship with Spo, I mean, when he was speaking with reporters, Spo was speaking with reporters towards the end of his session. He said, "You guys waiting for Waiters Island is right over there," and he pointed to Deion. So Spo, obviously, he FaceTimed Deion before Friday or on Friday to tell him that there would be playing opportunity, or ask him if he was ready. So I think there's a professionalism with their relationship. We haven't really spoken to Spo about it either, but I think there is a certain level of professionalism there. That Spo, of course, I mean, he's an elite coach. There's no other way to say he's an elite coach. He knows how this goes. He's been around. He's been around for what, 12 years now? So he knows how this goes. That's as a head coach. He's been around for the organization longer. So he knows how this goes. There's tension. Obviously, I'm sure at some point it was contentious. But he's a part of the roster. He's a part of the team. You could say, hey, man, take your ball and go home. But they're not, because I'm sure they think they can figure it out. And I'm sure Spo has some part of saying, I think me and Deion can work this out, and we can figure out a way to make this a relationship that can help both of us.
Kobe Price, by the way, you can follow him on Twitter at Kobe_P. Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. All right, so tonight, first of all, and dude, I know this is an impossible question for most of you. I've been on that Heat beat for years, so I know how they stay clamped down. But did you get to see Kendrick Nunn walk around, jog around? Did you see him at all? Should we be concerned? Because, dude, when you hear Achilles, that's some scary-ass stuff. So what do we got?
Yeah, I actually didn't see him. I just didn't see him. Maybe I could have paid closer attention, but I talked to other reporters, and they said they didn't see him either. So we didn't speak with him at all because we just didn't see him on the practice floor. Now maybe he did practice, maybe did a little bit of treatment while he was there, but we didn't see him. But this is the first time that he's been injured all season. First time I remember him being on the injury report at all. So it is concerning, and they're saying that it's soreness as of right now. And
bilateral Achilles. What the hell is bilateral Achilles? What does that mean?
Man, if I was WebMD, I wish I could tell you. I tried to look it up the other day. He just said it came back to Achilles for me, and we got the official injury report after practice was over, so we couldn't get the clarification of Achilles versus bilateral Achilles. But it is concerning, especially when Achilles comes up. You kind of cringe when you hear that word. But, I mean, if anything, the Heat know that they have a deep roster. They have talented guys, so they're not going to rush him back. And you have the All-Star break coming up in about 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from now, if he's not ready, you get another week off. So you can go almost 3 weeks and just see if he's what he needs to do, if it comes to that. Now, it may just simply be soreness. Some guys just get sore back there. They have a little tightness and tension, and they just need to take a little break off and get some treatment. But it's very unclear with them, especially since we didn't speak with him about how he's feeling.
All right. What do you know about Goran? What do you know about Butler?
Goran said that he sustained it was originally soreness, calf soreness, but it's actually a bruise, which bruises can be difficult to gauge. He didn't seem like he was really doing much at practice. He wasn't trying to put a whole lot of pressure on it. He said that today would be really the first time he tried to do game-like activities this morning to see how he felt before the game. So at that point, I'm not feeling the greatest about chances to play tonight, but we will see. Especially with the bruise, if he doesn't play today and they have a back-to-back against the Celtics tomorrow, then he'll be able to get another 4 days off until they have a game on Saturday. So I can see the Heat taking a cautious approach with Goran and saying, hey, sit these 2 games out and we'll see if we get you ready for Saturday when they go to Orlando to play the Magic. As for Butler, he said he was just simply banged up. Said that's what happens around this time of the year. Many teams go through it. He said with the ankle sprain, he said it's not the worst ankle sprain he's had. He's had worse. It's they always say the next day is when you really know how bad it is. He said he was in pain, and he was even in pain yesterday. But he seems like they're still trying to gauge it. He says he wants to play, but the Heat are obviously they're going to work. This is a partnership. They're going to work with each other and see the benefits of playing versus the risk of making it worse, because he was getting banged up multiple times throughout that game against the Clippers.
Okay. I don't know if you know, what's it called? Will Carroll, the injury expert. But while we're talking, I am texting Will, and I said, "What does bilateral Achilles mean?" He says both right and left legs.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So it's both his Achilles.
Yeah, you got a scoop now on top of everybody else, buddy. Run with it. And then I said, "Wow." I said, "Really? Wow, is that bad?" He goes, "Isn't good." So that's what bilateral Achilles means. That means he's having some issues with both Achilles.
Yeah, it wasn't clear when we originally heard about that, but yeah, that is concerning. I wouldn't be surprised if Kendrick had out. Not just I don't think he plays tonight. He's not going to play tomorrow, and I don't see him at the earliest coming back until Saturday. And yeah, that's the possibility. It really depends on how he reacts to the treatment, or how much he heals and how much the pain or whatever's going on down these changes.
He's a good follow on Twitter. Injury Expert is the handle on Twitter. Will Carroll. We have him on every week on Fridays to talk about the biggest injuries going on in sports. So I just asked him because I had no idea what the hell bilateral is, and I thought maybe but I know the Heat, they're not going to really give you guys any kind of info. They're so good at hiding everything, dude. It's just, we still don't know why Green was high a couple of years back in that hotel. We still have no idea what happened to that kid. I mean, that's how good this team is at hiding all that stuff. On any other team or any other team in town, that information would have gotten out. Somehow or another, nobody on the beat is able to get it. I mean, it's you know that is the toughest beat to cover, right? Like, to get any kind of info.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even close, dude. I'm sure they all walked you through it before you took over, right?
Yeah, they let me know. I've been made very aware that they are very tight with their information. If something doesn't want to get out, it does not come out.
It's not going to come out, man. It really is amazing. Now, let me ask you one more thing, Kobe, before I let you go. Kobe Price, of course, from the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Well, actually, two things. Got to get your Super Bowl prediction, too. How does the Heat players and the Heat coaching staff handle this game? Because I was talking about this in one of my segments. This is one of the few games that you walk into it already pissed off as a fan. Why? Because you're constantly remembering all the losses the last couple of years when you know that the team is better than that team. You know the Heat is better than the Magic over the last couple of years, but somehow or another, they find ways to lose to this team all the time. So I'm just, Kendrick Nunn, and I know he's not playing tonight, but Tyler Hero and some of these new guys, they don't have that kind of built-up frustration. I'm just wondering. Neither does Jimmy Butler, but some of the other guys, the coaching staff, damn it, don't they have that frustration? Like, stop losing to these guys already.
Yeah, no, we talked to Jimmy about that yesterday. Actually, he said that someone asked him. He mentioned that this is an important game because they got smacked earlier this year when they were in Orlando, and now they're going to be able to play them tonight, and Saturday. And he says he very much believes in state championships. And he said that the Magic probably think they're the best team in Florida. And he said that they know, Butler meaning the Heat know that they're a better team, but they simply have to prove it. But yeah, it is weird how sometimes teams just simply have your number across like many years, and it's like the Heat are obviously. I mean, you can look across years. This year, they're obviously the better team, but for some reason, sometimes it's a bad matchup. Things don't work out. Yeah, but they're aware. They're very aware, and like I said, they're fighting for a state championship tonight, or 1/4 of their state championship goals tonight.
Well, let's hope they get it done. All right, we got this game on Sunday. I think it's called like the Super Bowl or some crap like that. And there's like
something like that.
Yeah, something like
that.
There's like San Francisco and Kansas City. So we got two teams that use two letters just to describe their teams, SF and KC. So you tell me, Who you going with? What's your prediction, Kobe Price? Who wins the Super Bowl?
Ooh, my prediction is that we will have Kansas City taking it home back to Middle America with a Super Bowl, and Patrick Mahomes will be the Super Bowl MVP, capping off one of the better 2-year runs to start a QB's career.
Yeah,
an MVP 1 year, winning Super Bowl MVP the next year.
That would be pretty freaking amazing. I'm with you on KC. I love KC in this game. I love the over also. The under in this game. So why do you have KC winning?
I think that this game, it'll probably be a little scrappy. I think that KC will honestly be able to impose their will and their style of play on this game, especially more so late. I know that San Francisco, they're going to want to. Sometimes you're a little concerned about Garoppolo. Is he going to make those big passes? And I like Garoppolo. I think he's a very talented guy, but I'm not sure how much he's going to be able to stay in this game. And I feel like he's going to make. He's due for like an interception a game. You can just chalk it up. It feels like at some point, or he's going to throw an errant pass. And I think in the Super Bowl, it's not going to be a game where you can make many mistakes. I think there's going to be one mistake on San Francisco's side that is just going to hurt them in the end. Whether it's in the red zone, that midway point or middle of the field on a crucial drive, I think there's going to be one crucial mistake that is going to give KC even more momentum. And we see KC; they're just electric. They can put up points at a rapid rate, regardless of what defense they're going up against. So I think it's that burstability combined with San Francisco maybe not being the tightest team, is going to probably come back to help KC take home the Super Bowl. Take home the big game.
I'm with you. I like KC in this game, and one of the reasons why I like it is what they did in Tennessee. They shut down Derrick Henry. They limited him to 7 yards in the second half, which, by the way, at the moment that I'm saying 7, I'm watching a Michael Vick promo of something that they're showing of Michael Vick on ESPN, and he wore number 7. That's funny. Anyway, so
that's gonna be good.
Yeah. There it is, Michael Vick, Part 1. I'm looking forward to that. 30 for 30. Okay. Anyway, so they limited Henry to 7 yards in the second half. Playing that physical against that team, that defense has gotten better, and I think it's a little underestimated. And I think they got the Tevin Coleman injury, so they won't have 3 backs. They'll have 2. I think they're going to shut down that run, and they're going to force Garoppolo to beat them. And Kansas City actually ran the ball some this past week, against Tennessee. I think they'll be able to do something in the run game, but more than anything, it'll be a shootout between 2 quarterbacks, and I don't think Garoppolo can keep up with Pat Mahomes. I think Mahomes wins it. And I'm a Garoppolo fan, but, dude, Mahomes is the freak of all freaks. That guy is just, forget it. He's at another level. So for me, that's why I got it, because I think they'll shut down the run like they did to Tennessee. And that's the difference, that I think this KC defense is now ready, not to be great, but to be good enough to give you that platform to win. That's what I'm doing. I'm sticking with that.
And that's all you need at that point. You don't have to have a great defense across the entire season. Just whose defense, and like you said, KC's defense just gets better throughout the season, and I think they're going to have a good enough performance, and the offense will hum, especially I think middle of the game and later on they'll hum. And it was going to be one of those games that they may fall behind a little bit early, but then in the late second quarter, third quarter, it's going to open up for KC, and that'll be what all she wrote.
All right, Kobe, I said I was going to let you go, but now I'm not, because you're on another beat, and I got to ask you, dude, when the hell is Paul McDonough and Inter going to get the international players in, bro? Like, come on. Like, we need the big guns out here. Let's go. What's going on with that, bro? What's the latest?
The latest, I spoke with Paul about it, and he said that he doesn't want to wait until the summer. So those big-time international players that you hear linked to Inter Miami, if they're coming to the summer, they're not allowed to come to the summer. It's not looking like it's going to happen, or it's less likely to happen because he wants to get his roster figured out as soon as possible. But he told me that through his previous time in Orlando and Atlanta, he learned that you have to be patient. And yeah, the season is it starts in almost a month, so the patience is almost wearing thin. You want to have that roster set, but you still have another couple of weeks to get the roster in place while the team is in training. And he isn't putting the time on it. He said he doesn't want to wait until the summer. That wouldn't really make sense for the team and for the organization, but he doesn't sound unwilling to do that. So there is truly no timeline on it. The only thing they told us is he would prefer not to wait. He would rather get it done sooner than later, but he's not going to rush himself. He's not going to rush the process. He's going to do his due diligence to make sure that everything is the right fit.
All right, well then, because, if you want to make the claim that you want to be great from the get-go and you want to get into the playoffs, you're going to need those guns right from the get-go, because the current team that they have right now, I don't know if they even get in the playoffs, but we'll see. We will see. Let's hope they can get those big guns. Follow Kobe on Twitter. As you can see, he covers like 700 beats, so he's all over the place. So he'll have all kinds of nuggets. Kobe_P. And Kobe, now you can work on a story. It's double Achilles, baby. That's a concern. That's a concern.
Bilateral Achilles.
Yeah. All right.
I'm walking slowly, just hearing that.
Good stuff. Kobe, thank you for taking some time, my man. I really appreciate it. There you
Appreciate
go.
you having me.
You got it, baby. All right, Kobe Price, man, from the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Plenty to talk about with that young man. Bilateral Achilles. How about that? That means dual Achilles. That means my man is having trouble with both Achilles. Wow. I'm not a doctor. Did not sleep at a Holiday Inn last night, so I have no idea. But wow. Both right and left legs, that's nuts. I don't know how bad it is. I hope it's not bad. I hope he's able to overcome it. Wow. He's had such a great year too, man. He's had such a phenomenal year, and it's amazing. It really is. I hope it's not a serious injury. All right. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break. If you want to get in, 786-322-1105 on the, you see it right under this, the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. Let's tell you about Craig Zins, Acura of Pembroke Pines. Boy, that dealership is just rocking and smoking. And right now, the ILX 209, the TLX 249, the RDX 339, the MDX 349. It's Customer Appreciation Month. Get on down there to 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Tell them that Big O sent you, and I promise you they will take care of you. They're great people out there, Larry Schlossberg and all the amazing people. And if you own or lease an Acura, go see Jordan Ferber, go see Mike Chan. Amazing people running that service center at the finest Acura dealership on the planet. It is Craig Zins, Acura of Pembroke Pines.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodsey can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorocktillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorocktillefestival.com.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SCT, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorocktillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorocktillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. 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 is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty, we are back for the final segment of the show.
Coming down the home stretch, you're in the lead.
Yes. The place Coral Skies had more names than the BB&T Center. Yes, actually it has. It has.
How about Joe Robbie?
No, still more than Joe Robbie.
Yeah?
It's been, because it's the underwear one, Joe Robbie, Landshark.
Pro player,
and now
Hard Rock.
And Hard Rock.
That's it?
Yeah.
Does that
well,
sound-
I mean, you could also, it was Dolphins Stadium also, if you want to throw that in there for a little bit, too.
For about a half a minute, right?
Yeah,
That was before it went to Landshark, I think, when it came off a pro player.
Oh, I know. I think it's when it came off of Landshark.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think it was, yeah. Big O, I agree with you, and the Dolphins would be dumb to spend picks to move up, but tried to change the spending trend in the first place is hypocritical. But try to change the spending trend in the first place is hypocritical? I don't understand what that means. If we use a pick to get a quarterback in the top 30, we are still fine with at least 4 potential starters to come up with those come up in the top 70 picks. I'm not sure what you're saying. The thing is, you would ask for too many. Anyways, I'm not trading up for anybody. I'm not trading up for Joe Burrow. And I'm not trading up for Tua. I wouldn't do that anyway. I'm not a fan of trading up for either one. And then he says trade down if Detroit or Washington gives Carolina or Chargers Tua and get Espinosa mid-first rounder, then Herbert, guard, tackle, linebacker, move Dieter to center. Sharif, you play way too much fantasy football. You have way too much time on your hands. And are you taking then Herbert at 5 is what you're saying? Or you get Espinosa and then mid-first, then Herbert? When's Herbert going? 5 or 18 or 20-something? Some of you guys out there, you got to relax a little bit. Let's wait till we get a little closer. Then we can get into the reality. The pilot of the helicopter carrying Kobe Bryant and his daughter and 6 other passengers got in big trouble with fog. They seemed to abort the trip and tried returning home, barely clearing one mountain range, but never slowed down. This according to the flight tracker and several experienced helicopter pilots in the LA area. As we reported, the pilot had to circle near the downtown LA area, near the LA Zoo, for 15 minutes because of bad weather ahead. As we reported, the LAPD grounded its helicopter fleet because of fog around the same time Kobe's helicopter took off. The pilot was following a visual flight plan and was cleared by the tower to proceed north towards Thousand Oaks, where Kobe was taking his daughter for a basketball game when he got to the Calabasas area. The fog became blinding. As we reported, the pilot was way too low at 1,250 feet. The pilot we spoke with say it's clear based on the abrupt change of the flight tracker. The pilot panicked and quickly ascended to 2,000 feet. We're told he cleared a mountain range by 100 feet. And the pilot we spoke with say he was so low he almost certainly saw the tops of the mountains. The pilots we spoke with, all of whom have extensive experience, say based on the flight tracker and the accident scene, they believe the pilot felt he had cleared all of the mountains and was proceeded to head back when he hit another mountain. The pilot clearly did not know there were mountains ahead because he actually descended from 2,000 feet to 1,700 feet, presumably to go under the fog. Even more baffling, we've been told the pilot was extremely experienced flying in that area and was even a flight instructor. One seasoned helicopter pilot told TMZ he could not understand why Kobe's pilot would have maintained a speed of 161 knots in such dense fog. One of the benefits of a helicopter is you can go much slower, even 15 miles an hour, to gingerly avoid terrain if you're uncertain. Our sources say the chopper was sophisticated and had an altitude warning signal to pull up, but it was too late. As we said, he was doing 161 knots and didn't slow down. The helicopter hit the mountain at that speed. Several of the pilots we spoke with say the pilot should have gone up to clear the fog rather than down. To that end, we're told the pilot could have slowed down to almost a stop as he turned, but he didn't. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? What did I tell you? You're dying to freaking point a finger at somebody. And that's what's going to happen. And now we're going to crucify the pilot, and then his family has to deal with everybody crucifying their father, husband, whatever, and that he killed Kobe, and he killed Gigi, and he killed the 6 other people that were with them. That's what this is all about, man. It's like, man, I've been at this for a long time, dude. It's just, let's go find and now pounce on this dude. And do you think he wanted to crash into a mountain? Do you think he was trying to make a mistake if he did make a mistake? Huh? What did I tell you earlier on the show? Human error or some mechanical failure. It's not going to bring him back, man. And going after the pilot and all this, just is the part that starts to get ugly. And the Kobe Nation, oh my Lord, they are very emotional about Kobe. Wow. I don't know what to tell you. But that's a sad situation, man. I just wish it would get better. All right, let's do this. Let's wrap it up. We're going to give you our picks in the NBA slate tonight. A slate that I'm sure will be emotional like it was last night. First game on the slate is the Cavs and the Pistons. Pistons are favored by 7. The over and under is 219. And we're talking about 2 terrible teams here. But I think Detroit's the better team. I'm going to lay the 7 here. I think Cleveland on the road. It's a bad team. It's really bad on the road. What do the Cavs have? They're 6-17 on the road. They're a terrible team. Detroit, on the other hand, they're phenomenal, bro. They're 9-15 at home. And they've lost 2 in a row. But the Cavs have lost 7 in a row. It'll be 8. And I think Detroit will win by more than 7. So I'm going to go Detroit and lay the 7. It's kind of ballsy, but I need to make it up because we had a terrible night last night. Orlando at Miami. Miami is favored by 6. Guess what I'm doing here? I'm taking the points. Take Orlando plus 6. Even if Miami wins, they probably will barely win that game. So take Orlando plus 6. And I'm going with the over 210 here on this one. All right? Dallas, favored by 1, over and under 226.5 against OKC. OKC is hosting this game. The Mavs are on the road. I know Doncic is a little banged up, but he'll play. I'm going Dallas -1, and I'm going over 226. I think a lot of points will be scored in this one. Sacramento visiting Minnesota. Minnesota is terrible. Sacramento is not good either. Rashawn Holmes is out still. Minnesota is favored by 3. I'm going to take the dog. I'm going to take Sacramento +3. Even if they lose, I think they'll keep it close, and they'll stay within that zone, and you win. Chicago favored by 1.5 against San Antonio. No Aldridge tonight. The over and under is 214. I'm going to go with the under here. Under 214 between Chicago and San Antonio. There you go. Here are my picks one more time. Detroit -7 against Cleveland. Orlando's at Miami. Take the Magic +6. Over 210. Dallas is at OKC. Take Dallas -1. Over 226.5. Sacramento's at Minnesota. Take Sacramento +3. San Antonio's at Chicago. Over and unders 214. Go under 214. And I can't touch Houston at Utah. Utah's favored by 12, dude. Harden's with the thigh, and he's questionable. Capella's out. He's not out, but he's listed as doubtful with the heel. He's probably not playing. I just can't touch that one. But that is the picks in the NBA slate tonight. We need a big night to bounce back. Okay? We were terrible last night. All right, we wrap it up. We thank David Gascon for joining us from Fox Sports West. We thank Kobe Price also from the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Bill, excellent work by you. John Cassio also. It takes many, as always. We thank all of you for tuning in and for supporting the channel. And, of course, following us on YouTube. Spread the word. We need more subscribers on YouTube. And, of course, we thank you for downloading. Remember, you can always reach out to us. It says it right there on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. Follow us on Twitter. Thank you for supporting the show as always. We'll see you tomorrow at VSS West Pines. It's in Pembroke Pines, baby.
Field trip.
That's
Field
right.
trip.
We'll see you there, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. 12397 Pembroke Road in Pembroke Pines. We'll see you at VSS West Pines.
Have a good night, guys.